football show in the country every afternoon right here on the Southern Sports Today Network.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming. Happy screaming. Summer screaming. $1 small classic Frosty screaming. But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time. Only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Your life isn't one size fits all. So why would your bank be? At Truist, you get a caring and knowledgeable team that really understands you. You get real talk about real life. Tools that help keep you informed, and a plan that keeps you ready so you're confident no matter what comes your way. And when all that comes together, it makes you feel unstoppable. Get started today at Truist.com. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it.
800-518-2535. 800-518-2535. 800-518-2535. That's 800-518-2535.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
I'm Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
Fall Saturdays in the South mean football. And when football season rolls, patio and grill season rolls right with it. Turn your patio into your favorite place to watch the game. From premium grills like Big Green Egg, Yoder, Blaze, and Napoleon to outdoor furniture built for Saturdays. Brooks & Collier has everything you need to make your patio the best seat in the house. Brooks & Collier, 80 years, 4 generations, the Valley's best in outdoor living. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. When you need service, rely on Talent. From system installations to tune-ups, rely on Talent. Online at talenthvac.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are a grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
It's Talkin' Ball's Tailgate Tour, presented by Talent Heating and Air, serving Huntsville and the surrounding areas. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we say welcome in on a Wednesday morning that sees us on the road yet again. We'll be back in studio one of these days. It's been a little bit, but today our stop takes us to Florence. We are on the campus of UNA, North Alabama, the Lions. It's our tailgate show brought to you by Talent Heating and Air, and we are going to get you caught up on everything UNA related today. We have got a lineup chocked full of good stuff today.
Purple everywhere, and
even you today.
Yeah, well, this was a present from the great Dr. Looney. Josh Looney will be here this hour, but he gave us this along with our helmet that you'll see in studio if we're ever back there at some point.
We'll be back there eventually.
This is the old school logo, though. This would be called retro by the homies now and the kiddies, but it's still nice. And we are joined by two outstanding representatives of the athletic department at the University of North Alabama, and Benjamin Ray, head of broadcasting, and also our sports information director, Mike Ezekiel, who let us in here today because we did not know we were amongst the first day of school. So it's some insanity. I mean, the first girl I saw, she even had purple hair, and I mean purple extensions. That was pretty cool. How much effort do you put into that? She's an athlete. She was wearing her UNA gear, but she had purple hair. That was pretty cool.
Purple pandemonium already.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's good to be back here. It's fun to be back here. Busy time. I mean, we talk about, and we're going to talk to the coaches and everything, and it's a busy time for them, but it's a busy time for you guys as well. New school year, it brings a lot of new opportunities and chances for you guys as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Kitts always talks about the first day of school. It's exciting because everything comes to life. We don't go home during the summer. We're here working. Campus is quiet. Course, sometimes it's nice because it makes parking a little easier, but you can feel the life and the energy with the students as they come back to campus.
Well, and this is a special year, and I'm glad we're here this year for it, because last year when we came, you guys gave us a little bit of a tour, and the bones of the football stadium were going up, but now it's almost completed. As you guys were telling us on our way in, I think maybe in a couple of weeks it'll be completely done, which is such a landmark moment for anyone that grew up in this state, because, of course, we've all been a part of Brawley Stadium. We've all seen games there. I certainly have. It's a historical venue. 3 national titles were won there. But this, having your own on-campus facility, takes things to another level, especially with this transition we've all been watching UNA go through when you're going from Division II to FCS, Ben.
And we've talked about this a lot. 78 years of football, I believe. We've accomplished everything. National championships, All-Americans, college football Hall of Famers, but we've never played a true home game on campus. That's amazing. September 19th, we get to do that for the first time. And the thought of campus coming to life with tailgating all through it, I can't think of a more exciting time.
Well, you talk about the history of Brawley Stadium and just how historic that venue was. I mean, it was built in 1949 for that first season back for UNA football. But then I believe it was 1973. We were looking yesterday, and in the media guide, there was a rendering for a potential on-campus stadium that didn't come to fruition then. And then I think there was another one that came out a little later than that. But this one actually broke ground, and now you guys, as you saw this morning walking up, like it's almost complete. And it was just bones when you were here last time, and now it's tremendous. We walked through it and seen some of the construction. It's almost done, and it's amazing, and it's going to be great for this community and great for the student body and fan base.
How much history have you had to learn from Brawley to here so that you can be ready for all of the grand openings? I guess you call a stadium a grand opening, right? Is that
definitely?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it has been alluded to. I mean, the national championships, the tradition. I mean, North Alabama, everybody knows the brand. I mean, even nationally, just what was accomplished. Nobody had won 3 consecutive at the NCAA level at that time. And just the Harlan Hill winners we've had over the years, too. And being able to honor that history throughout the stadium as well. That's one really good part of the stadium I'm excited about is there's a room dedicated to the Harlan Hill trophy and to Harlan Hill and what he accomplished. And some of the other areas, there'll be wraps and things like that with the history on it.
That's a good point. How important has it been, and you guys have all been a part of this, to keep Harlan Hill? A lot of people don't know the Harlan Hill is the Division II equivalent to the Heisman, and it was started here, founded here in North Alabama. How important is it to keep that legacy alive?
I mean, we're so proud of our athletic tradition, and we wouldn't be where we are today without Harlan Hill, without Bobby Wallace, who the field is named after. So it's incredibly important. And for Mike and I, we grew up around here. We grew up hearing those stories. And so you want to honor the legacy of those that came before you. And Dr. Looney, Dr. Kitts, they're real big on that as well. I mean, we got to start a push to get Harlan Hill into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, he belongs up there in Canton with the career he had with the Bears. He still holds some records up there.
Yeah, 1955 MVP.
So we've got a
Yes.
we've got a tradition that a lot of schools don't get to experience, and we don't want to forget that because we would not be here today without Israel Raybon, who might be listening over there in Huntsville, blocking that punt against IUP in '93.
No, trust me, he works in one of our sponsors on Bill Penny. So we see Big Israel quite a bit.
Yeah, and we say Big Israel. I mean, he still looks like he could put the pads on and knock you down.
Let's find some eligibility for Izzy.
Everybody's fifth year. He's 5 for 5.
He still looks like he's 6'7", 285. Trust me.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it's huge. It's big to have that, and I'm glad you guys are having that. And talk about just, I know Dr. Looney will as well, and he'll go into a little more in depth, but some of the little nuances from the stadium that it's going to make life easier for everybody.
I think from my perspective, at Brawley, we get 5 Saturdays a day in Brawley, and we would get 2 days to go in and work during the summer. So that's 7 days you're working in a stadium where you're putting on your biggest events of the year. You got 10,000 people coming. So Brawley, it was hard to work in. All of a sudden, our game days, we've got 6 days to get ready for a Saturday, whereas a 6 o'clock kick, a lot of times we were getting into Brawley at 6 a.m., 12 hours to get ready for a kick. So the thought that we're going to be able to spend 6 days getting ready for that one Saturday to put on an event, I'm sitting here thinking like, man, Saturdays are always going to be stressful when we do. There will be different stresses inside of Bank Independent Stadium, but the amount of sweat equity we put in Brawley, it's not going to be quite as bad over here at BI Stadium.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like picking up the show and moving it over on Friday or Saturday morning to get ready at Brawley. But I think the biggest nuance for me is moving everything to campus. I mean, that's just going to be tremendous for tailgating right on Pine Street, then just enter right in the stadium. Students can be in their dorm, literally walk, about, 100 feet, and they're at the entrance. I mean, that to me is special, and you're going to see tailgating all over campus. We'll obviously have the Pines that'll launch this year, but I think just being on campus, being close to downtown, having that area for people to park, and they can go to the restaurants either before or after the game, walk down. I think that's going to be tremendous.
Yeah, because we were kind of looking at it last year. We were like, how is the parking going to work? But we knew it would be all figured out, and so and being near downtown and all the restaurants and all the ambiance and everything, that's really cool. I mean, I've been part of tailgates at Brawley and had fun, but there's nothing like having an on-campus stadium, and there's going to be nothing like being able to showcase that in recruiting, showcase that for the football program, for the athletic program as a whole. I mean, and with the history this place has. I mean, look, Jack State was a Division II power, but they didn't do even what UNA did. UNA was kind of redefined everything under Coach Wallace, and so that's going to be really cool to watch because we've seen Jack State improve their facilities, and they've got their footing, and they've become really good on that FCS level. Now they've made the full-time D1 transition. Now we're hopefully seeing the same thing with UNA. It takes the weight is the hardest part, but now that you have the stadium, it all seems like all of it's worth it because then you get a chance to make a huge jump in hopefully the very near future.
And we've been to a lot of stadiums over the last 8-9 years at the FCS level, and what this stadium is going to be, I think instantly puts UNA in a much different place from where we were when we first jumped up. No disrespect to Brawley, but we didn't have luxury boxes. We didn't have a place to call our own locker room. Yeah. But they've got a tunnel that they're going to get to run through that's going to be lit up with pyro as they come through it. So it's a total game changer for the program.
Well, obviously, it's a big time. Football is going to be playing there week 3 against, is it Arkansas Pine Bluff? Is that right?
It's Alcorn State.
Alcorn State. I knew it was a SWAC school. Just didn't get that one right.
Steve McNair's alma mater.
Steve McNair.
That's right.
But between now and then, there's a lot of other stuff going on. You guys have already, school started today, but the action's already going, though. I mean, women's soccer is already playing. I mean, you guys have already kicked off the new year.
That's right. Yeah, soccer played on Saturday at UNC Asheville. They were actually supposed to play a week from last week on Wednesday at ETSU, but it got rained out. But soccer's full swing. They actually have their home opener tonight over at the Cox Creek Sports Complex, and they'll move into Bank Independence Stadium October 4th to play their conference slates. So not only is that a football stadium, it's also a soccer stadium, and it's going to be tremendous for soccer. They're going to have the whole setup with the big video board, and to me, I think it's safe to say maybe going to be the best mid-major venue for college soccer. So we're excited about that, but September 19th is a big one too, obviously with football, but volleyball had an exhibition last night. They've got another one Saturday, and of course that's open to the public, ticketed at roarlines.com. And I mean, we're full swing, guys, and before we know it, we'll be talking basketball.
Yeah, I know, but what's so crazy is when you Google now, a lot of times it would go directly in the past to UNA football schedule. It goes to stadium first. So that's the coolest part.
It's very popular right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. But hey, what else is very popular, and we're excited about it, is I know you guys are going to be coming to the Rocket City next week to kick this deal off. That's going to be really cool. And I don't know.
Is that next week?
Yeah, dude.
Can you believe it?
but
August football.
The Sanford Bulldogs are coming. It's a de facto UNA home game. We're expecting a huge UNA contingent, and I know you guys have been there for the press stuff. But have you walked through Wick Family Field, because it's a really cool venue, man. I mean, I grew up in Huntsville, like you guys grew up here, so I remember when it was Joe Davis, and trust me, I went to some football games there, high school wide. You're running through an infield of baseball. It wasn't the greatest place to watch a game. This is really a cool venue, and I'm really excited. I know that UNA's already played over at Toyota Field, but that was kind of a weird setup. This is a true football field.
Women's soccer has played at Wicks
twice.
Yeah, but this is going to be cool for football, though. I'm looking forward to this game with Sanford and hopefully packing the place, because there's not a bad seat in the joint. So it's how excited are you guys, Mike, for UNA to come to Huntsville?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Our staff did a walkthrough over at Wicks Family Field, Joe Davis Stadium, probably about a month ago, and Joel Lamp and his team have been tremendous to make this happen. Sanford's been great to work with on this as well, and we're excited to go there, and it's going to be a great venue. And like you said, not a bad seat in the house. Both bands will be there, and that's going to add to the environment. I believe this will be the first college football game at the stadium, where they've had a lot of high school games, and that's been successful. So, confident in the Story Partners or Financial Partners Bowl. It's going to be great.
Gonna be fun.
Go ahead.
Cool little nugget. Our second game played back in 1949 when UNA returned football back to the university was against Howard College, now Sanford. UNA would have been Florence State back then.
Yes, that's right.
Some cat named Bobby Bowden.
Yes, you got it. Yeah.
he was on it.
Yeah, there you go. We're renewing an old rivalry.
There's game programs with that on it, too. We found the old 1949 game program from that game, and
really?
Bobby Bowden's listed on the roster, so pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to 1949. I don't remember that game. I wasn't around, but we've played Sanford once or twice since then. I think back in 03, 04.
Mark Hudspeth's very first year.
02.
It was in 02, and so UNA, I was there. And I remember that game very vividly because UNA had come off a couple long seasons before that. They go down to Sanford, and it was hot. I mean, it was just muggy. It was hot, and UNA pushed them to overtime.
Yep.
And I remember, I mean, it was like these kids, I mean, they looked like they were going to die because it was just, I mean, it was a long game. And all of a sudden, here goes UNA in overtime. Now, they came up short in overtime. But, man, you knew UNA had turned the corner coming out of that game, and you were like, okay, they're going to be pretty good.
Well, and speaking of being pretty good, Ben, you're the voice of UNA, and you've been going to practice, I'm sure. We're going to hear from Coach Dearmon in the hour two, but what's the expectation going into this year in the first year of Bank Independent Stadium? I mean, I know they've been building. This has been a gradual process. They want to have more success, but what's the outlook right now?
Two things have stood out to me as we've gone out to practice. The first one is this is a team that brought in 60 transfers, I believe.
Newcomers, yeah.
But also, we're one of 3 schools in our league, the UAC, to return a starting quarterback. So it's a good mix of transfers and returnees. But I think in Coach Dearmon's 4 years, this looks like his tightest team on and off the field. The relationships are there. The bonding is there with coaches. Not that it hasn't been, but this team just kind of has that it feel to it with that chemistry right now. The second thing is you talk to Coach Dearmon, you talk to our strength coaches. The gains that this program made in the weight room this year are probably the best since we've been Division I. And the 2 areas where we got the strongest, statistically speaking, the most amount of weight put on in the weight room, offensive and defensive lines. And I'm old school football. It starts in the trenches. Yep. We are big inside. Mike's been out at practice a lot. He can tell you too. I mean, we got a defensive tackle, 6'6", 290. Looks like Israel Raybon out there. Nice. But, I mean, we've got size like we have not had, which is very exciting.
And he came into camp at 300. I mean, it's a good thing. Joshua White, you guys will probably learn that name, an interior D lineman. But like Ben said, the defensive line really improved with depth. I mean, that's going to be the most exciting thing to watch for me. And going back to something Ben alluded to with having a returning starting quarterback and why that's so major. Destin Wade, when he was healthy, was one of the best in the league. And Coach Dearmon said at UAC Media Day, we actually took a quarterback for the first time since he's been here. And, when you can take a quarterback to your media day, that's kind of a good sign, knowing, okay, we have our QB1, you have your bona fide leader, and obviously the quarterback position is so important. And so to have that solidified has been so big. And you can feel a difference with the offense in fall camp. And Travis Partridge, offensive coordinator, has done a great job installing that. He's got some skill players, some offensive linemen that have played in his system before that have already kind of adjusted and helped some of the others adjust to that. And Clint Bowen, a defensive mastermind, you're going to see a lot of that play out this year. I'm excited for this team.
Yeah, some change. I mean, he made some changes on that coaching staff. I mean, some new faces this year for Coach Dearmon.
And this is a coaching staff with so much experience. Coach Partridge, he was part of the turnaround at Tennessee State with Eddie George, where they won a conference championship. Coach Bowen, a defensive coordinator, his experience in the Big 12, it's unbelievable everywhere he has been. And then up and down that roster, you got some UNA folks on there. Mike Johnson, probably you think Ronald McKinnon, you think Mike Johnson in terms of 2 of the greatest to ever play at UNA. He's back home coaching linebackers this year. So you've got coaches that are hungry. You've got coaches that love this program, and they've invested in the student athletes. And I'm telling you, the way I walk up and down those football offices and those players are in the coaches' offices, it's the kind of relationships and chemistry that you see from teams that do special things.
Well, and making the commitment that Dr. Looney's made to the facility improvements across the athletic department, then you start attracting, like you talked about, a different level of student athlete. And that was one of the biggest transitions. I think, what is this, our 3rd straight year doing this, Scott?
Yeah, this is year 3.
And that was one of the things when you make the jump from Division II to FCS is the caliber of athlete that you have to add because of the line of scrimmage. It's a line of scrimmage game. And I know that was something that they've struggled with because I've watched the opener a couple years ago over in Montgomery, watching it on TV, and they had a good first half. But the problem is you're up 15-6 at halftime or whatever, but then you start wearing down and you don't have the depth. And so that's where it helps. And then if this, from what you guys are talking about at practice, if they have started to see the fruits of their labor in recruiting because of all this, what was going on, that's where you make the jump. Because you have guys that look like NFL players. And they've had NFL players here that were good NFL players on the Division II level. But when you need those guys that have that look like Division I student athletes, and I think that's coming, and it's exciting to hear.
And I'll tell you what, a 4-year transition, it's hard to get people to come here where you can't play for the playoffs.
When you can't play for a championship.
And then you get out of that transition, and they come and they look at Brawley, they look at some other things. They're like, well, I don't know, you don't have an on-campus facility. Then we're showing people photos of, hey, you might get to play in this one day. Well, the last year or two, we've been able to show them active construction. And then this year, Dearmon got to bring guys in and say, hey, look at this tunnel. in the fall, you're going to get to walk through this tunnel where 10,000 people are going to be cheering for you. And Josh White, 6'6", 300 pounds, he's saying, Coach, you sold me on the tunnel walkthrough. Give me the American flag, give me a sledgehammer, something. We're busting through that, and we're setting the tone. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, facilities, it's all come a long way, and it has helped them sell this program.
Yeah, and, I mean, you grew up here. You've seen this place rise facility-wise, both of you. I mean, it's unreal from 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago. Keeps evolving. You got to evolve to stay relevant.
I mean, this is my 12th year back working full-time at UNA, and I go back to when I started, and campus looked different. And I'll tell you what, it's a good time to be in the construction equipment business, because UNA's had nothing but construction equipment on campus for the last 12 years. I mean, there's buildings all around. I mean, there's academic buildings that are going to break ground in a couple of weeks, just an engineering building just behind us. So it's not stopping with just football. I mean, campus has just continued to boom.
Well, and I know we've been talking a lot about Bobby Wallace Field, Bank Independence Stadium, but also Mike D. Lane Field, our baseball stadium.
Oh, yeah.
It had the grand opening this year, and it's tremendous how they've, kind of made it turned it a 90-degree angle, put home plate a little differently so we could have a tall left field wall. You guys need to go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It is tremendous.
We saw it last year from afar, and we could tell that it was just nearly completed, and it's already paying off huge, because Jad Prachniak, he won a Rocket City Award for us.
That's right.
And you guys were one win away from going to an NCAA regional. And trust me, 2 years ago, it was a struggle bus, because it was really hard, because when you're playing Division I baseball against SEC level schools a lot, or another Division I level schools, and they had not finished the stadium yet, and you're going through that transition, it is rough in college baseball. But when you hire the right guy, and once again, got to give Dr. Looney credit for that, and then you build the facility, it's already showing a lot of dividends now, because UNA, I think last year they beat Alabama. They've already started to compete, and college baseball is so good in this state too. It's gotten really good, and so it's exciting. I know
we had guys go off and play summer ball. But they got here as quickly as they could this summer. I've never seen so many baseball players taking batting practice in June and July, because they love that facility.
Right.
But I look at men's basketball. Tony Pujol, he's got players from the last couple of years playing overseas coming back here over the summer to work out before they go back to Europe and play. So the culture here at UNA right now is just booming with people that want to be here. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, the culture is a big piece of it, as Ben was saying. And also, I was getting ready to say, too, the improvements in this gym since, you got here 12 years ago. I mean, it's been tremendous.
Night and day, no
CBNS
doubt.
Bank Arena. I mean, every facility. And actually, I think the stat was this: in the last 365 days, every facility had some kind of upgrade, whether it was small or big. Tennis got their court resurfaced, got a new scoreboard. Obviously, they've been really successful. Won a conference championship 2 years ago, or I guess the season before last. But
beach volleyball's been successful. We don't want to leave beach volleyball out.
Beach volleyball's been successful.
Yes.
They had a few improvements as well. Softball, made some runs, and they had a lot of improvements in the outfield wall and some of the turf. So it's been tremendous to see all the great things happening. Alcohol sales are about to start now this year. Everybody's excited about that. I mean, you go down the list, man. There's just so much.
That's become such a common theme now in college sports is the alcohol sales. Before it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're going to sell it. Now it's like, if you don't, you're one of the odd ones to not sell it.
I was a freshman in college when UNA or Florence, Alabama passed the draft beer laws where restaurants could serve draft beer.
Yeah.
And now, look, we're going to have beer at our college football stadiums. It's been a wild ride.
It really has.
But it's a game changer. I mean, you go to places with it and the revenue from it, but the atmosphere, it adds to it. And it makes people want to be there.
It's a hot ticket right now. I mean, everywhere, like basketball, baseball, football, softball. I mean, every sport. I mean, there's a high demand, and obviously football, single game tickets go on sale today. So that's really exciting. And, but it's going to be a great environment.
I can only imagine, though, what it's like for people that have grown up here their entire life, being able to come to a football game 3 Saturdays or 4 Saturdays from now, what it's going to be like emotionally, though, for a lot of people in this town, because there's a lot of people that have wanted to see it for so long, that have dreamt about it for so long. They're going to wake up and it's actually going to be a real thing. I mean, it's going to be a very emotional day, I think, for a lot of people.
I've known one of them for 20-plus years. He used to be my neighbor. I know Matthew Smith is just he's itching.
Well,
he's been itching for this, man. And I used to come to games with him at Brawley and have a great time, but I can't imagine what it's going to be like when the Alcorn comes here.
I make it emotional, but I grew up with my family going to games at Brawley. Brawley was my introduction to college football, and now all these years later, I've got 2 kids who are going to grow up going to Bank Independence Stadium, and it gives me chills thinking about it. That's going to be their introduction to college football, is coming on campus, being a part of tailgating, having that real college game day experience. I mean, I get chills thinking about it.
Well, we're not too far apart in age, but Ben, I think your introduction to UNA football is probably 90s, like late 90s. Yeah. And for me, it was like early 2000s, watching Will Hall sling the ball around, A.J. Milwee. And those were great memories, and that made me fall in love with UNA. And now to be Division I, to be FCS, to be where we are, to have the on-campus stadium is just so special for this community to be able to come to campus, be part of campus, and have this here. I mean, it's going to be such a game changer. And Ben and I are getting ready to talk to a lot of people from around college football, some prominent names about why that's so important. So we're excited.
Nice.
Well, we got to get a break in because when we come back, Dr. Josh Looney is going to be here with us. He's going to be here.
He will.
He will.
I'll call him.
He's going to be here. But we're going to get some more insight here to UNA. It's always great when we have I guess you could call it the State of the State Union address for Dr. Looney here. It's going to be fun.
Thank you both so much for making the drive over. We love when you guys come, and the relationship with you guys the last couple of years has grown as well, and we're very thankful for you guys.
Well, we appreciate y'all's help, and your hospitality. It's a great place to be, no question.
All right, let's get a break in. The Director of Athletics, Dr. Josh Looney, will be with us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Most of our roads continue to run smoothly this morning. We do have a little bit of slow traffic southbound on Research Park Boulevard, slowing out just a bit, like right around Bradford. And then you've got some slow traffic eastbound on 72 through the Madison area. It's going to start a little bit before Burgreen and go all the way over to what looks like Jeff Road. So be careful through that area, at least for the next little while. Do have one accident, 565 eastbound, just east of County Line Road, slowing you down just a bit. So use caution through that area. Memorial Parkway looks great coming in from the south end and Arab. And 431, 231 looks great north of Huntsville, coming in from the Fayetteville, Hazel Green area. Keep the seatbelts buckled and be safe, especially in the school zones. I'm David Cruz, Mr. Traffic.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Talking ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Brent Dearmon. Welcome back into the program, and the way it should be.
Right.
The director of athletics just walks right in as the commercial break is ending, like he knew this was happening.
A lot happening.
A lot happening here on the campus, but this is always a good time, and this is always a conversation we look forward to when we come over here each and every year.
No, it is, and it's a very exciting time for UNA athletics. I've grown up around it. I've gone to games at Brawley Stadium, but now it's Bank Independence Stadium, Bobby Wallace Field. It's going to debut in just a few weeks. Should be ready completely in a couple, and our next guest had the vision to have all this happen. And it's really an exciting time to be a UNA line, and we're always honored to be joined by Dr. Josh Looney, the Director of Athletics at UNA. How are you, sir?
Nothing like a morning tailgate. Hey, and when you're a longtime listener, you can time in to come right into the break.
Well, you were listening. I know you were.
Just know it, man.
But we were told beforehand, though, that you had to have the coffee and a view of the stadium before you come in. It's like a tradition unlike any other, right?
It is. And actually came from some advice I got about 2 years ago from Joel Erdman, the former AD at South Alabama, now just retired in May, but was the AD at North Alabama in the early 2000s. And, he was familiar, obviously, with UNA, but did something very similar at South Alabama when they built Hancock Whitney Stadium and were in Ladd Peebles, municipal stadium for a long time. And he just said, there's a lot of renovation projects that happen, but very rarely do you ever see in a community, not just in a career, in a community, a stadium for the first time built on campus. And he said, and a lot of people don't really appreciate it till it's there. He said, so take in every moment. So I took that advice, and so since we've broken ground, most every day I'll go to the top of the church parking lot that overlooks both our baseball and football fields at Bank Independence Stadium. I just kind of take in the progress and then go to work. And it was an awesome piece of advice because it really is special, and it's a generational time to see a stadium built here in the Shoals.
Oh, it is, and the funny thing is, it's an interesting way the good Lord works, but in relationships and everything how everything kind of falls into place, because we have a very good relationship. One of our sponsors is Bill Penny Toyota, and one of their employees is, of course, Israel Raven. We see him all the time, and we hoping to see him in a week over at Wicks Family Field for the Samford opener, and I'm sure he'll be here along with a lot of legends because they helped build this program. And of course, they made Brawley such a great place to play, but there's nothing like an on-campus facility. And, Benjamin and Mike were telling us about the room you guys have built that's kind of paid homage to the history. That's going to be a very emotional day when Alcorn is here.
It'll be something that has been waited for in this community literally for 50-plus years. Benjamin and I were going back through the media guides, and I said, well, it's the 1974 Football Media Guide, page 2, has a picture of an on-campus stadium. And he won up and he goes, well, I found it a game program 1973. So I've been saying it's been a 52-year wait. It's 53, I guess, or more. And you think about our history, right? There's lots of greats like Israel have come in and throughout the years, and But throughout all that history, all that time, and how great football's been at the University of North Alabama, this is the first time in 78 years of football since it was rebooted in 1949 that we will tailgate on campus, that we will play a game on campus. People on a game day can just show up to campus and show their kids or their friends, hey, this is where I took my English classes, right? This is, where we had a great time and with my friends. And that just that's been such a core piece of the football and game day experience at so many places. It hasn't been here, and so I think it just takes that level up a whole nother notch.
Well, I'm going to ask a weird question. You've probably not been asked this one because I just thought about it. Because we know the way the things have changed and the modernization of all of it. Tickets now are so much digital. But see, I'm going to ask this. Are y'all going to have paper tickets for this first game? Because there's a lot of people that are going to want to frame these tickets and keep these tickets. Are y'all going to do something special, like commemorative? How is that working?
I can respect that question because my wife was in Huntsville last night, and she went to the Goo Goo Dolls concert.
Friends of mine did as well.
And I had to physically drive to Huntsville this summer to purchase the tickets from the box office because she wanted the paper ticket for the memory.
Okay.
So I
there
can respect
I love your
that
wife.
question.
I love
and then, it's yesterday, and she's, where are the tickets? I said, well, had they been digital, I would just forward them to you. So I don't know where you put the tickets. We will have a lot of that. That's a great idea. First off, we'll have a lot of things that happen for the first time throughout the year that give people memories of the inaugural season. Our tickets are fully digital, but that may be a great keepsake. So thanks for the idea.
Yeah, well, I just thought about that.
And you go back to the stadium and you talk about the excitement and everything, but it's like viability wise, when a university has an on-campus stadium like this, the energy goes up not just
tenfold
academically, but it goes out academically as well. New buildings start to happen. It just seems like the energy is transferable throughout the whole entire university.
I think it brings legitimacy. The way North Alabama has grown academically, enrollment, the Shoals, it's been the one missing piece to an otherwise incredible growth story for an institution. So I'll take it from a perspective of, let's just say it's a student at a junior Roar Day, right? And maybe they go to a peer institution and they start off in this football stadium and they get all fired up, and then they go to their counselor or their chemistry professor, whatever it is, and maybe they're never going to step foot in we hope they do, but maybe they never come to a football game at UNA, and they never come to a football game at wherever the competitor is. But there's just this sense of legitimacy when you're comparing the two that, hey, this chemistry program at UNA is every bit as good, if not better, and statistically it may be, than this other. But I was at this school, and it just seemed like a bigger deal because I started off at the football stadium, and I went, and you didn't have there. I think of our band, right? The Marching Prize is a fantastic band. They bring in all of these high schoolers from throughout the country for band day and competitions and you name it, right? And the recruitment. Well, now they're going to have a sparkly, beautiful stadium to do those things. So you're right. It of course, it's helping us in athletics, right?
Yes.
And it's a revenue piece and an alumni pride thing. But I think it reaches through all sides of the university that sometimes you just take for granted. And there's just a mental piece there that brings you to a next level when you say, I'm in a beautiful Division I football stadium and I can start my time at the university.
Well, before you kick off the new year in the new stadium, we get to host you first in Huntsville in 2 weeks. Well, next week, a week from Saturday, the Stories Financial Bowl, and a unique experience and a good way for UNA. And you have mentioned it before. You want to spread the UNA word. And what better way to do that than play football in Huntsville?
We have such a great alumni base there. Obviously, lots of new students come from the Huntsville-Madison area and Limestone County area as well. And to bring our brand to that market has always been a focus. This one was a no-brainer, right? Week 0 legislation got passed, and so everybody's trying to schedule a year out, which is pretty short for football, a 12th game. And, we called Martin Newton down at Sanford, and they didn't have a game. We didn't have a game. I said, why don't we meet in the middle? And the great partnership we've had over the years with the Huntsville Sports Commission and everyone over there, from the soccer team to the CVB, right? It's been great. We make a call and said, this would be fantastic, right? So we're the first now Division I football game at the renovated Joe Davis Stadium. I remember, 5 years ago, meeting with Tommy Battle about his plans for that. So we'll just save a football game for us there, right? We played one at Trash Pandas where we converted.
And that was a different. It was set up there, but it was neat.
Yes, it was unique.
So this will be a true football stadium now.
It will, and I think it's just going to be great for both fan bases. We're excited about it. You mentioned Israel Rabin. We have a special thing that we'll unveil next week where we're bringing back members of our Hall of Fame throughout all sports that were in Huntsville, Madison high schools, right, and honoring them at that game. So Lion legends, and it's going to be an awesome time, and to have we're calling it our 7th home game. We're technically the home team over this neutral site, and so we haven't had 6 true home football games. Mike has the stats. It's been a long time, right? I mean, when you take out postseason in Division II, a long time, and when you say we've got now the 7th in North Alabama, that's 7 of 12 right here, which doesn't happen for an FCS program. So we're excited, and I can't wait to see that beautiful stadium.
And there's such a good alumni base in Huntsville. I would think that the ticket sales are going to be good. And the thing is, I've done high school games there where it wasn't full, but it still felt like everybody was on top. But I can't imagine the 2 bands being there and then the place being full, what kind of atmosphere that's going to be.
It's going to be a true week 0 college football neutral site matchup that I just think that has great pull for both fan bases and alumni bases.
Now, of course, you talked about week 0 for going forward. So is this something? I don't want to get ahead of the bus here, but is this something that you guys would think about maybe doing? Not maybe you can't do it every season. Obviously, it's tough, but having this be kind of an annual thing.
Yeah, we will. We'll make it a priority. I think we're already scheduled out week 0 the next maybe 4 or 5 years. What it does is it helps us push our bye week at some point different in the season. Now that FBS has adopted it starting next year across the board, like you have the game in Ireland and some one-offs, they're doing that. So they like to have a lot of FCS games now, in that week 0 game to start their season. We'll start at North Carolina next year, right? And so you'll start seeing some of that, or you'll see that FCS game probably somewhere in that October range as they kind of look and take a look at a double bye week at the FBS level. So no, it'll be a priority, and I'm very glad they did that. It really helps for the player safety piece as well.
Well, talk to us about the conference change. I know a lot of people are going, well, wait a minute, I thought they were in the ASUN. Now you're saying the UDT.
Mike was explaining.
Walk us through this conference change.
I can take you through every step and make it really complicated, or I'll just make it really. It really isn't as complicated as it sounds. But, we've been in the UAC from a football perspective for the last several years. It's been football only. Now the football playing schools from the Atlantic Sun Conference are moving into the UAC, and we've picked up the remaining WAC members. Which is 3 Texas schools, and then Little Rock, which doesn't play football, is joining the league from the OVC. So it's a standalone 9-school conference, right? But it's really taking the WAC's auto bid and that history and rebranding into what we've been calling our footballers, playing all sports there. The ASUN really is a basketball-centric conference now. So these leagues have split. The difference is we have shared partnerships with one another. We're calling it Unison Sports. So separate championships, separate AQ bids, separate governance, right? But at the top, the ASUN Commissioner Jeff Bacon is the executive director of both leagues. So we have things like shared conference office resources to reduce expenses. We pooled our media rights together. We have scheduling alliances and non-conference competition. So basketball, getting Division I home basketball games as a mid-major is very, very difficult unless you're going to buy them, right? And so we have 4 crossover games. So this year, you'll be familiar, that are scheduled through that alliance. We've got Queens, West Florida, Bellarmine, and Lipscomb, familiar to all of our fans, right? And that's ones we didn't have to go out and negotiate for. So those types of things that come through, it hasn't happened in Division I athletics ever, and to have 2 leagues working together to try and maximize the new era of college sports, I think is great. I'm not sure what's on the horizon for it, right? I mean, these are just 3 things we found that make sense. I think the sky's the limit when you partner and grow, and especially when you think let's take it to the biggest level of college sports. Everyone's talking about, okay, we've expanded across the country, and our footprint's pretty big, even in the ASUN and UAC. But how do you get more regional competition for non-football and basketball teams, right?
Cut down on the travel.
Does soccer and volleyball need to be flying from California to Carolina for a single Tuesday night game, right? That's the argument. Well, it's similar pieces, right, to where you're grouped in the UAC in football, centric schools for the most part, which is important when you're in the rev share era,
right?
And more regional, right? Most of those are drives. We did trade Florida for Texas for a few flights, but that piece is nominal. So I think it's a great thing. We're excited, and we also think the competition level will be higher from top to bottom. These are really good schools, and if you look at the ASUN in general, it's schools that have been toward the top of the league throughout all sports.
Well, and then we were very honored for you guys had a large contingent at our 97.7 Rocket City Awards, our third annual event, and of course, I want to preface this by saying I think I'm hopeful that the football program is going to take this kind of jump, but we've already seen with the facilities improvements and commitments that y'all have made. When we were here last year, we could see the baseball stadium was just about done and it was going to be debuted. And in year one, you guys already under Jad Prachniak almost go to the NCAA tournament. You come one game away. You're already seeing a huge improvement, because I remember 2 years ago, it was rough. I mean, when you're making the transition from Division II baseball to college baseball, it's already really good in this state, but we've already seen a stark jump in the quality of play. How are you? First of all, talk about the progress of the baseball program, and how big a jump can you make quickly in football?
Yeah, the baseball story is a great one, and Jad, I know you'll talk to him later this morning and can give you a much larger perspective. But when Jad came on board 4 years ago, statistically speaking, so he would have come in his first year would have been our first year post transition, right? So we've been 4 years of Division I, kind of in that wilderness. And statistically, we were one of the worst Division I baseball programs in the country. Over those 4 years prior to Jad, we won a total of 38 combined games. We won 18 combined games in the ASUN. To put that in perspective, just this past year, we won 31 and 19, right? But for Jad, it was a stair-step. And that's what I loved about his approach, right? It was a big hill to climb. Yes. And he just worked on getting a little bit better each year. And so every year we were celebrating, even when we had the losing record, that, hey, we just took a step forward, right? Mm-hmm. And then we break through in this year, in the first year, a new stadium, and win our first regular season title since 2005. But that's awesome. He tells a story, and I didn't even remember this so much. It was we gave him a second contract extension, but he told a story to the Times Daily, which was pretty cool. He said, that first year we were on like a 14-game losing streak, and we had just hosted Florida Gulf Coast, and I mean, we didn't even belong on the diamond, right? It was, I think we lost like 28-4. It was something crazy, some football score, right, where we just gave up a ton of runs. Yeah. And he said, I came in the dugout or called him or something. I was like, hey, man, we'll be all right. Are you okay? And he said, that not to say that you fast forward, we're in an elimination game against Florida Gulf Coast this year to go to the ASUN championship, and it's off of like 4 hours sleep where we had played till 3 a.m. the next day, and we beat them, right, to go to the championship. And so you look at that snapshot of 4 years, where 4 years ago you're not even belong on the same diamond as this team, right, for that series at least. And here you are knocking them out to do something for the first time. It's pretty cool, but there's so much that goes between that 4 year span, and baseball is probably the biggest example of that here. And I think from a department perspective, we've post-transition, we've been saying, hey, there's hope, there's belief, but we started getting some tangible wins that everybody could see. Basketball broke through about 18 months ago and won a share of the regular season title, and I think that was a thing our department needed to see, because since then, we've been to the national tournament in tennis. We've won a men's all sports trophy. We've led the conference in APR and academic pieces, right? So you're building up all those things, but sometimes it takes one breakthrough for everybody to say, yes, this is possible, and they see it. The football side, I believe it too. Of course, we've got a great stadium, but this is Brent's fourth year, and he's done a fantastic job. Every single aspect of that program, outside of where the wins have been pointing up. And I'm a big believer, right? It takes time to rebuild things. And when you have the right culture, the player buy-in, the academic, all those things are pointing up, the donor support, the facilities. When all those are pointing up, the wins come, right? And I think we're due for a breakthrough season this year, and excited to do something like with baseball, where we open up a stadium and have a heck of a year and a big breakthrough.
Got to ask the boring question. Protect College Sports Act. How closely did you follow it? Did you watch it? And how does it impact UNA?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal, and followed a lot. I think locally, with all the debate, I support the Protect College Sports Act. I honestly believe we probably, with all the argument, need more of a skinny bill, and that's Coach Tuberville's bill.
Yeah.
I think Coach is spot on, and he's hit 3 core areas that, hey, let's get these right and keep working. And so I hope Protect College Sports bill gets passed, right? That's coming through. But there's a lot in it that muddied the water. And I think it's kind of like when you think of, peace in the Middle East or something, right? Where you're not going to solve everything in one. You need some skinny bills and some things that go through. And I think Coach has been very pragmatic with what he's advocated for. So if it's Protect College Sports Act, let's go. But I do think that Coach is onto it and appreciative of his leadership as well.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then I wanted to ask too, because I hope next week we can speak with him, because I know he's going to be very busy and he's going to be a huge part of the opener in 3 weeks, and I'm sure he'll be there in Huntsville. But what's it been like? What's been the reaction of Coach Bobby Wallace? We haven't had a chance to speak with him in a while, but he built this place. He took it to heights that we've never seen in Division II. I grew up around it because a lot of those guys like Israel and Keith, I watched them play in high school, and then they came here and became superstars, and in some cases NFL players. But what's Coach Wallace's reaction been to seeing all this happen?
Coach has toured the stadium a few times.
I figured.
And
that's got to be a little emotional for him.
It's pretty neat, and there's so many great memories at Brawley Stadium, and last year to be able to celebrate. I mean, he came to multiple reunions of teams there. Right. It was really neat how we were able to close that out. And I think Coach obviously will have his name on the field of the new stadium, and so we've tried to find ways to take the past into the future. Things like Bobby Wallace Field, the Victory Flame Tower, right? It's the highest point in the stadium, has this big light that'll shine when we win a game, right? Similar to lighting the flame across campus. And so I think Coach is just incredibly excited. He'll obviously be there multiple times this year, but of course for that first game, and we've got some surprises for people when we open it with Coach. And he sees it, right? He sees the next step of where UNA is going, and he's a huge piece, and his teams are part of our past. But it's an awesome time, and he's a big advocate for it.
Obviously, Bank Independence Stadium, the biggest facility build for you guys right now. But is there anything on the horizon? I mean, is there a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan of, okay, let's look at something else now? This is obviously the biggest project we've had, but what's on the horizon?
Yeah, and not just the biggest project we've had, it's the biggest capital project in the university's history, period, right? So a significant piece of it. No doubt. So there's some things with the facility-wise. I think every single sport has had a renovated or a new build of some sort, but we're not done there, and we have plenty of needs that we go through. But I think our biggest priority for the next year is not only operating Bank Independence Stadium, making sure we're maximizing the revenue production so we can, in addition to donor support, go and build some new things in other sports, right? It's kind of everybody eats where it goes. So I think that's a big piece for us that we've been working very hard on. There's core things we haven't had access to ever in our past, from premium seating to parking revenue to concessions. We didn't have any of that playing off campus, right? So inherently that's going to come in, but we need to maximize that. It's a venue that's built for 365-day-a-year use, right?
Concerts,
music venue, concerts, all those things.
Do that stuff?
Absolutely, and so I think that's and the music is that. So that's our next focus. Really, is just building the revenue there, and we've got some needs, with some of our facilities and practice gyms for basketball and some other things too. So no doubt we never stop going, but it's exciting to have a new build of something to the magnitude of the stadium.
Bank Independent can help with NIL.
There you go. You read between the lines well. That's right.
There we go.
Oh, that's changed so much. That continues to change as well too, doesn't it? That goalpost just keeps getting moved and moved.
It does, and I think we've done a great job of being on the forefront at our level, from one of the first to start a collective to obviously opted in on the first year of the rev share piece, but also understanding who we are, right? We're our entire athletic budget isn't $20 million, and that's the cap for rev share, right? So clearly we need to know where we slot through, and obviously priorities will shift, and we have to participate in that and do it to be competitive, but also understanding that there is a difference in how we can implement it versus Auburn and Alabama, and even some of the other in-state schools. But I do think at our level in a comparative piece, we've been able to be at the forefront, and we'll continue to pursue that. And with new revenues that come in, it makes it easier to allocate additional funds to that.
No question. Well, we're certainly looking forward to next week. It's going to be a great time in Huntsville, and I know that the enthusiasm is going to be awesome. The UNA the Lion Nation, so to speak, is going to turn out, and I can't wait to see the atmosphere. We're honored to be able to call the game as well. I mean, it's going to be historical because it's the first college football game in that facility, and I grew up in Huntsville, so I was part of the old Joe Davis. So seeing the new one, it turned out so well, and I've already done high school games there, but it's going to be really, really cool to be a part of it, and we really are excited for UNA and excited for the Lions to come to town.
We appreciate you guys, everyone in Huntsville that's helped bring that game, Store Financial Partners, great partnerships all around, and we couldn't be more thrilled about starting our season in Huntsville.
Well, Ticketmaster.com. Digital tickets for the game.
That game for sure will have digital tickets, yes. All right, let's tell you now. I might print you something out.
I'll give it to Matt because I know he's going to want it. There you go.
That game's 6 o'clock, and thank you so much for letting us broadcast that game.
We
got to thank you.
It's awesome
for letting us broadcast that.
We appreciate that and being a part of it.
Yeah, but thank you so much for the conversation as well. And I guess first day of school.
Yeah,
so
we didn't realize we were coming the first day of school.
We didn't realize we were coming.
We saw the cars. We're like, what's going on? And then Ben's like, hey, Ben and Mike are like, it's the first day of school. We're like, wow. So it's really busy on campus today. A lot of energy.
Well, thank you, Dr. Looney.
Roar Lions. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the conversation. That was a fantastic conversation right there. We are just about done with our number one here as we continue our tailgate tour from the campus of North Alabama here. And we're not quite done. We got 2 more hours to go with the show.
We got a lot of coaches to talk to. We got Brent Dearmon coming up, and I'm
Yes,
excited
we do.
to talk to him because he, as Dr. Looney said, this has been 4 years. He's been building to this moment. I know he's seen it like Dr. Looney built out. You watch the stadium come up, and now you get a chance to play in your own stadium on campus, and then you're coming to Huntsville too. This is an awesome time.
We'll get some X's and O's conversation in there as well. Brent Dearmon, the head football coach here at UNA, coming up after this quick timeout.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves look to avoid the sweep with the Minnesota Twins. They're a slight favorite today at Minnesota. Braves minus 115, Twins minus 105, 8.5 over at Target Field. Zadarius Smith signs a 1-year, $6 million deal. Could be worth $8 million with incentives. He signs with the Falcons. He has 70.5 career sacks in 11 seasons with 6 different NFL teams. Falcons a 3.5-point dog of the Colts on Saturday in preseason football. NASCAR, Ryan Blaney the favorite at plus 450 to win the Dollar Tree 301 at New Hampshire. Christopher Bell plus 550. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. It's Talkin' Ball's Tailgate Tour, presented by Talent Heating and Air, serving Huntsville and the surrounding areas. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome back in. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It is our Tailgate Tour rolling in to the city of Florence and on the campus of UNA. And what a conversation that was with UNA Director of Athletics,
Always
Dr.
great.
Josh Looney. We could talk 3 hours and still not get everything that we wanted to talk. But we move on, and we've talked a lot about Bank Independence Stadium. Yep. We talked about getting the opener. We've talked about the Stories Financial Bowl, getting to play UNA and Sanford at Wicks Family Field. But now we actually get to talk to the team that will, play inside Bank Independence Stadium, and the team that will actually play in Wicks Family Field.
Yeah, this is I think our 3rd straight year doing our UNA Media Day, and we always enjoy it. They give us great access here, and he's going into year number 4. It's been flown by, but now we have Bank Independence Stadium making its debut in week 3. Yep. It's going to be an awesome day, but we also have them coming to the Rocket City of Huntsville, and we're honored to be joined by the head football coach and former Tennessee Valley Viper quarterback.
That's
I will
right.
mention that too.
Yep.
That's part of our city. Brent Dearmon has been kind enough to join us today at our UNA Media Day here live at the University of North Alabama. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. It's a great day. We have, like I was telling you guys, it's a little bit of a lighter day. So coaching staff-wise, we got in the office early, and we'll start moving our attention actually to Sanford today. So it's a really good morning.
Yeah, week 0, does that change when you guys started or camp, or does it affect you guys much?
Not really. My 4 years being here, we've played week 0 3 times.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's actually not playing week 0 is actually the weird thing for us now. So we've just gotten used to it. Just speeds thing up a little bit in the summer.
Yeah.
We always get here a week earlier than most teams are starting to practice. So we're just accustomed to that schedule since we've been playing in the bowl game in the Crampton Bowl, week 0 game down in the Crampton Bowl for the 2 of the 3 years that I've been here.
Yeah, that's right. You've been over there, and I know you're excited to come to Huntsville. I know you've been walked through. You've seen Wicks Family Field. I know y'all a few years ago y'all played at Toyota Field. That was against Jack State. That was a little bit of a different setup because of it wasn't a true football field like Wicks will be. I've done some high school games there. I'm really excited to do the first college game with you guys in Sanford. It's a beautiful facility, and we've been kind of talking. I know both bands are coming. We've been talking to Josh Looney, Dr. Looney, and then of course Mike and Ben. It's going to be crazy because I know there's a great alumni fan base of UNA folks in Huntsville. That place full, I can't imagine. Everybody's right on top of you when you do a high school game. There's been some good crowds over there, but this has a chance to be a special afternoon.
I think it does. Back in the spring, my son actually played in one of the state championship games at the soccer fields over there. So in between some downtime, I walked over and tried to check it out a little bit. Man, it's an awesome venue. It's going to be awesome for our fan base. It's awesome for our players. We've got I'd say 30 to 40 players that are from North Alabama, stretching from Fort Payne over to Florence. So having so many of our fans and family that's able to come to this game and make it a big deal this week 0 game against a great opponent in Sanford.
Yeah, talk about that. I mean, John Gross making his debut as Sanford coach, making his debut back in the state of Alabama. Jack State coach, coached on the high school level in the state of Alabama, no stranger to the state as well, and it should be a fantastic matchup.
It should be. Me and Coach Ross connected when we did kind of the media day for this thing a few months back, and mine and his story are very similar. I started in the high school ranks as well. I'm the son of a high school coach. My brother's still a coach down at Saraland. So me and Coach Gross shared a lot of good old high school stories of Friday nights painting lines, cutting grass on the Kubota tractor. He's just a good old football coach, and I respect everything that he's done in his career. He's always won. So we know that he's going to come in and do a great job, and he's hired a great staff. So we know that it's going to be a really good competitive game right off the bat.
Well, and speaking of, we always ask you this each year we're here. Talk about your staff. I know there's been some change, and I know you brought some guys in. So kind of for our listeners, update us on UNA and your staff going into year 4.
I think I've got 2 returning staff members, so it's more of a change roster and coaching staff-wise. We hired 2 coordinators, 2 new, an offensive and defensive coordinator. I've stepped out of the play-calling role. And just been more of the CEO, big picture, helping out a little bit more in all phases. So Travis Partridge is our offensive coordinator. He was actually an offensive analyst at Kansas with me, so that's where I got to know him really well, and I know the scheme that he wants to do, and he knows the things that I would like to do offensively. So it's been really good. Then Clint Bowen, we've got a guy that's been interim head coach at Kansas. He's been a DC in the Big 12, was just the interim DC at Oklahoma State last year. Probably the most experienced staff I've ever had, and really excited about what we're doing on both sides of the ball right now.
Well, let's talk about the offense then. What kind of system? What are we looking at when, changes from a year ago to now? Is it the scheme similar?
Scheme is similar.
Yeah.
A lot of teams run 11 personnel, RPO. It's, even go back to my 2013, 2014 days. A lot of stuff is now centered around what Gus kind of built, of that 11 personnel sniffer H-back world. But he does a little bit more 12 personnel. He's got a little bit more, Coach Partridge had a cup of coffee in the NFL as a player, and he's got some NFL kind of West Coast passing game philosophies that's going to be a little bit different than what we are used to. And it's been a good change for our players, though. So at the end of the day, it's college football offenses are very similar.
Well, and then you return your quarterback in Destin Wade. I know you took him to media day as well, and from what Mike was telling us, that's the first time you've been able to take your quarterback to media day. That's significant because he's comfortable. I know it's a new offensive coordinator, and there'll be some system tweaks, but it's always important on the college level, especially to have your quarterback return.
It is, and I made a big deal at media day about it. We've had some good quarterbacks, some good leaders, but we've always had quarterback battles in fall camp that carry into fall camp, and now we've got a guy that was a starter, won 2 games for us before he got hurt last year, that has won the team over. He's won the locker room, won the coaching staff over. And any time that you go into the summer knowing who your guy is, it's always a good feeling. And when you take your quarterback to media days, I think it sends a message to your team that the coaching staff believes in him, the locker room believes in him. So it's a good feeling knowing that we've got Destin Wade here. But I tell you what, we've got a couple of younger quarterbacks that are they're not threatening, but they're nipping at his heels, and they're going to be ready to go when they get an opportunity.
Well, you return, I believe, 3 starters on offense? You've got other guys that started some games, but really big 3 starters on offense, one along that offensive line. To talk about Colin Wright for a little bit, how much you're going to have to lean on him to be experienced along that line.
I hadn't even told Mike this, but yesterday the team voted. I let the players vote on captains every year.
Yeah.
Of course, Jaheim Ingram and Destin Wade were 2 of the 4. The other 2, Colin Wright is one of our team captains, and to have an offensive lineman get voted as a team captain is kind of rare because you don't get stats, you don't get recognized so much. But that tells you what the locker room thinks of Colin Wright. Tells you what our staff thinks of Colin Wright. That a 3-year starter. I told the team this yesterday. A 3-year starting offensive lineman in FCS, he could have went anywhere he wanted to if he would have went in the portal because of the experience. Somebody would have paid him money to be on their roster to create depth. But he decided to stay here. It means a lot to him to stay at home. He's a Muscle Shoals guy. He wanted to play in front of his family. He wanted to, Colin's married with a child already, so he is mature and wiser than a lot of our rest of our football players. So we're going to lean on him and his experience, but we've brought in some guys around him that I think our offensive line is much improved and is talented and can move people. So he's got a little bit more help now.
Well, and you mentioned you only returned 2 coaches, so your staff, a lot of your staff is new. And then, Mike was telling us 60 new players. So, I mean, when you bring in new staff, a lot of times they have connections to other young men. So was there a kind of an emphasis on that? I mean, and then on your level, like you said, if you have a good player, a lot of times, sometimes they move up. But talk about kind of the roster overhaul, Coach.
Think about this. We've got 60 new players, and Mike and Ben Ray do a great job of looking this stuff up. At Media Days, we have more returning players on our roster than any other team in our conference.
Wow.
And we
brought in 60. You still have more returning.
So when he told me that, I was like, there's no way. There's no way that's possible. But that just tells you the turnover of college football.
Yeah.
It's just gonna always be that way now. That's our new reality. But it's refreshing. Sometimes you need to start over. Sometimes you need to change things up a little bit, but it in good ways. I mean, we've got our starting punter for the last 3 years. Got an opportunity to be the starting punter in Alabama this year. I mean, so we've gotten guys that have decided to take that step up, and we don't discourage them from it. There's sometimes that we say, you got an opportunity. I mean, he's got an opportunity to be the starting punter in Alabama. And he grew up in the state of Alabama. He grew up an Alabama fan. So there's some special situation, but at the same time, like the situation with Colin Wright being married from here, it just worked out that he's going to finish here. So really excited about the team that we've kind of put together and molded together this year.
So you mentioned 60 new guys, and you mentioned some of them moved up, had the opportunity to move up. So when you take that 60, how much of that is guys leaving the program to move up? And was it like, okay, we've got to go fill needs in certain spots, so let's go get some spots?
So there's a little bit of probably 3 different things. There's guys that moved up. There's guys that we needed to mutually move on from that we just said, hey, listen, it's not working out here, and it was mutual. And then because of attrition, senior attrition, so you had to fill in where we were going to bring in high school players. We still brought in a big high school class, but if we had an offensive tackle position open, we didn't want to trust in the 18-year-old high school player to come in and be the contributor this year, where we said we need to go get a transfer instead of getting a high school kid. So you brought up a while ago about how the world's kind of changed. So in my coaching hiring process, some of it was not only – is he a good coach, but it was, can he bring somebody with him? And that's the reality of our business now. I hired a D-line coach from Memphis that he's a good coach. He's got a lot of great qualities, but we also signed 7 players from Memphis out of the portal. So there's some of that in how you have to hire people now.
Yeah, and now, of course, you almost buried the lead here. We haven't even talked about you've been here 4 years, and now you've seen Bank Independent Stadium be built. You're going to play in it in week 3. And one of the hardest things in football is to go through one of these transitions when you're going from Division II to FCS or FCS to Division I. It's very difficult. And I know this is our 3rd year, I think, coming here. And that was one of the things, and we talked to Dr. Looney about it. And, now it's you're selling it, the vision, but now they can see it. And so how big a difference was that when you were recruiting in the portal, and then these guys being able to be part of a team that's going to open such a facility that's going to be a historical moment for the football program?
Well, I'll tell you, there's 2 things with that. We keep saying in week 3, and it jacks me up because it's our 4th game because we're playing a week 0. So I have to keep doing the math in my head. But I'll tell you this, Josh White is the 4th leader on our team, fourth captain on our team. He's a transfer defensive tackle from Memphis. He's 6'5", 320. We have not had a player that looked like that since I've been here. And we have him because when he came on his recruiting visit, me and him walked down that tunnel with a hard hat on and a vest and actually saw a stadium. It was nowhere near complete at that moment in time. But instead of selling blueprints and selling pictures on a TV screen, AI images, I got to actually walk into the stadium with recruits this offseason, and we've landed the best recruiting class by far that we've ever had because there is a physical stadium being built here now.
Do you find yourself just going over there by yourself when it's quiet and just sitting there and just being like, I still don't believe it?
About once a day. You know, I've kind of challenged our staff. I've challenged people in this area. When we really open it up, we need to make a big deal out of, if it's local pastors coming in and praying over it. But this is the community's stadium. This is everybody's stadium. The turf is a little bit different. I don't know if Dr. Looney was able to tell you about that, but it's more of a soccer real grass-like turf. There's no pellets in it. Nice. So I go over there, and it's softer than any turf I've ever stood on. I've got 2 herniated discs in my low back, and after a 3-hour practice on turf, I'm hurting. That turf over there feels amazing. I'm going to be blessed from it. It's less injuries, is all the research behind it. So I walk on the field about once every couple of days. I try to sneak up in the press box every couple of days. I try to walk around the backside and get views of different areas of the stadium. So it's I don't think a day goes by that I don't sneak over there somehow.
Well, and of course, you guys are winding down preparations for the game a week from Saturday, as you will be part of that game against the kickoff, the Week 0 game against Samford. Coach, and when you have 60 new players, I've said this now, it almost reminds me of football when I was growing up, when there was not an early enroll situation, and you can early enroll now, but now with so many new players, it's almost like you don't really know what you got till you play somebody. But you've been watching practice now, and you've been taking these guys through it. Give us an idea of the strength of this football team. You gave us a little bit of a window there talking about the physicality and the size along the lines of scrimmage, because when we talked to you 3 years ago, I think that was the thing that we knew was going to change, making this transition. You're going to need to be bigger and more physical. But what's the strength in your mind of this football team heading into the opener against Samford?
I tell you what, first thing that made me think about it is the last 2 seasons we've had 2 portal windows.
That's right.
We could bring in kids in January, but then those exact kids could re-enter the portal again in May. So last season we had a couple kids that we brought here, trained with us all spring, or kids that were already here just decided to stay in the spring and went through spring ball and then decided to enter the portal. Mm-hmm. So you think you develop a team, you think you know a team, and then May hits and you lose more guys, and then you're redoing again in the summer. Where this year, luckily, they took that second portal window out, and all the guys we retained and all the guys we brought in January, you've actually able to unite them a little bit more. There's more cohesiveness now. There's more of a team feeling now. We do a lot more stuff with our guys, off the field bonding stuff. We played pickleball tournaments this summer.
Uh-oh.
I have to invite you guys over next time.
I'll do that. I'll come over. We'll have fun with that one.
I do think the kind of face of our team is our starting quarterback and who we're going to be up front. I think we've gotten a lot bigger. That was an emphasis. We played a game last year against Abilene Christian that I walked out into our defensive huddle, and I was looking at all 11 guys on the field eye to eye, and that's not a good feeling when I'm 6 foot. And I said, we've got to get bigger. We've got to be able to withstand the girth and the pounding that this league has of running the football. So I think we're bigger. I think we're stronger. I think our strength conditioning program did an amazing job this offseason. So I think the box is really the highlight of this team.
Well, you mentioned getting bigger. You mentioned getting stronger and girth. You're going to need that September 5th for the first time since 1959 and just the second time ever. You're going to take on an SEC opponent. You're going to be traveling to take on Arkansas September 5th.
It's going to be a special day. I mean, for our players, they grow up with dreams of playing Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Arkansas. you grow up in the South, you dream to play in the SEC, and I think you get that one stage now that you can go out and you can play in front of 70,000 people. You can play in front of that crowd. You can play on SEC Network. I mean, it's a huge moment for a kid to be in an environment like that. So I'm really excited for our players more than I am for anything else, that they've always dreamed of that, and they get that opportunity. It's the first of many to come, as you know, from our schedule that's coming up of North Carolina, Auburn, Mississippi State, all these that we have now put on the schedule. So I think it's a good sign of where we're heading as a Division I football program.
Yeah, no question, and I think too, it shows when you have your own on-campus stadium. There's just nothing like it. The atmosphere that'll be here. I've been to games in Brawley and really enjoyed myself. Really enjoyed the tailgating and the atmosphere. But there's going to be nothing like we could see the bones last year. So I can't wait till after we're done with the show. I'd like to go down there and just take it all in, because it's going to be really neat to watch. And it's going to be. And we were talking to Dr. Looney about Coach Wallace, and I know you grew up here. Your dad's a high school coach. You were a high school coach. Coach Wallace, coached here in this state pretty much his entire career. And he built this place, and I know that's going to be a super emotional day for him too, because of course he was a part of y'all the last year in Brawley, but still seeing this and being named after him and all the guys before him, and then all the legends, like we're around some of them in Huntsville, that's going to be a cool moment.
Absolutely. I've ran into a couple people through my 4 years of being here that I think bought season tickets for the stadium, or bought a seat in the stadium back in the 70s and 80s. So this dream has been out there for a long time.
I've been hearing about it.
And to see it actually now come to fruition, I've got a great relationship with Coach Wallace. I got a great relationship with Cody Gross. Israel Rayburn FaceTimes me about once a month.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure that's one of y'all's Huntsville guys there.
He works at one of our sponsors.
We see him. We see him frequently.
And he makes sure you see him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You
can't miss him.
Yeah, you have to.
Because he looks like he can still play.
You can't miss him.
But I've Luke Wingo, great quarterback, going to the Hall of Fame this year. Getting to be buddies with him here in town, his child's in my wife's daycare class. I mean, there's so many former players or coaches that I've bonded with, that I have a relationship with, that they're all excited to see their excitement, because they're the ones that earned this. I mean, I've been here for 4 years. They put the blood, sweat, and tears into this place that got it where it's got an on-campus stadium here. So I'm so fired up for all those former players that get to see this stadium being built.
So I know we're getting into game week preps for you, for Sanford on Saturday. But assess the camp. What progresses did you make in camp, as we get ready into game week?
This year we tried to I think some years you overcomplicate things in this game of football. At the end of the day, a UNA legend coach, Raymond Monica, was the D-line coach for Bobby here. I worked for him at Arkansas Tech. He was my head coach. So that's where I learned a lot about UNA, is from him being my head coach. And he used to say, football's about blocking, tackling, and running to the ball. And what we did this camp is we threw out a lot of the fluff stuff, and we just put the ball down and played a lot. And we tried to create adverse situations where one day it may have been just a 3rd and long day, and that's hard for the offense. Yeah. When it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 the whole day, and those pass rushers get to just pin their ears back all day long, it's hard. And you get to see what our character is when things get hard. And then the other days we put the ball at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, or the 1 yard line, and made it hard on the defense. So we tried to create adversity more than we ever have this fall camp, and I like the way this team responded to adversity. They kind of punched it right back. So I think we've got a good character football team, and a kind of I would say we've probably had 900 snaps of team football live. Just let's put the ball down and play, which is more than I probably have ever done.
Well, and the thing that is exciting that you're talking about the way you think the physicality and the size are much better. As I remember the game 2 years ago, watching it in the Crampton Bowl against SEMO, and you guys led at halftime. But the problem is when you don't have the depth and you talk about having to look everybody in the eye, you wear down in the second half. So the problem as you've added the size and athleticism, that's got to be exciting. And tell us, how good a league is this UAC going to be this year in your mind?
It's hard to really kind of get a gauge on the league every year because of the portal.
Turnover. Yeah.
Because of all the turnover. I mean, Austin Peay, to me, Tarleton State and Austin Peay has got to be the favorite. Tarleton State is bringing in a new quarterback, but they are big old money spenders, and they find ways to get that old money finds ways to get players down there. Where Austin Peay returns the league's best offensive player, returns an All-American tackle, so they've got more weapons returning. They have to be the two favorites, but you never know in the league. You never know who's going to be bringing people in. West Georgia's got a new staff coming for Presbyterian that they brought a lot of new guys over. So it's tough to tell preseason who's going to be what because of the portal. Where it used to be preseason polls meant a little bit more. Now it's just it's a guessing game.
Never liked them then. I really don't like them now.
He is not a fan of preseason polls.
I'm not either. And I actually told our team that. We had a couple of players on some preseason lists.
Yeah.
And I said, guys, if you're just a returning starter in a league, you're going to put on a preseason list now because most of the guys that were probably all conference guys moved on, moved up. So preseason awards and preseason polls mean nothing.
Yeah, well, but we certainly are excited for you guys to have you in the Rocket City in about a week to kick off year 4 for you, Coach.
Met my wife in Huntsville.
There you go.
As a Tennessee Valley Viper. So
there we go.
The Vipers.
So it's cool to go back to the city of Huntsville.
Well,
I was out. I was out in Spokane back in February, and their indoor track facility there in Spokane is right next to the arena where the Vipers won their championship.
Well, and he's going to know who I'm talking about. But one of my old coaches was a part of his staff that coached him with the Vipers. That was John Kirk.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was John Kirk. My goodness!
I worked for John for when he was Coach Kirk and when he was at Huntsville High, and so he's always been a good friend.
Talk about line coaches.
Yeah, he is a old school line coach, and he's had some health issues lately. We're praying for him. We hope he's getting better, but he coached for a long, long time, and he's a ball coach. He loved it. And I always enjoyed being around Coach
Kirk was awesome. Kevin Weisman offered me my first job when I was substitute teaching while I was playing for the Vipers, and he offered me a job there, and through his relationship with Coach Kirk. So I've got utmost respect for Coach Kirk and Coach Weisman.
Yeah, I know he was here for a while with the Florence City School System. Now he's in Bruton at T.R. Miller.
Kevin, yep.
Yeah, but so he's the superintendent over there, but we're very happy for his career arc as well, and we appreciate you coming over, Coach, and sharing some UNA line intel, and we really look forward to speaking with you next week and then getting ready and seeing you in Huntsville.
Thank you, guys. Always good talking to you, Roar Lions.
All right, Brent Dearmon, head football coach at UNA. We are now going to take a break, and when we come back, a 2026 Rocket City Award winner will join the program.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at DraftKings. And on September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. Now remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 977TheZone. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code 977TheZone. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing. and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Kern Electrical, we're more than just a Generac generator dealer. We're your partners in ensuring your home or business never loses power, especially when it matters most. Call 256-880-1880 today or visit gensuperstore.com for reliable power solutions that work when you need them most.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
What better way to take in the beautiful fall than with a Forno outdoor kitchen from Owen Home Appliance? The one that we are featuring now is the Forno Ultra Qualita 5-burner 176-inch black outdoor kitchen kit, complete with the grill, a pizza oven, a sink, a beverage center, a flat top, and all the counter space you could want. This thing is amazing. Learn more at owenappliance.com and just search out Forno Outdoor Kitchen. Owen Appliance in Forno, a match made for the fall.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and our Tailgate Tour presented by Talent Heating and Air continuing here on a Wednesday morning. We are on the campus of North Alabama. We are home of the Lions today, and so far we have caught up. We've had 3 great conversations. We kicked it off with a little bit of history, a little bit of news and notes surrounding the university. Then we had Dr. Josh Looney on. And then we just had Brent Dearmon on, the head football coach. And now, Drew, we are joined. It's always fun to say, we are joined by a Rocket City Award winner.
Yes, his program has grown leaps and bounds, and even the last 2 years, I mean, it's amazing the growth of UNA baseball. And Jad Prachniak has been able to join us at our UNA Media Day, and what a season it was for UNA last year. One win away from getting to the NCAA tournament. I believe the year before they beat Alabama. They've made so many strides, and then as we came here last year, we could see the baseball stadium was just about done, and they got a chance to play on campus in that facility, and we're seeing the growth of their program and so much, and now the same thing could be happening for football. But it just goes to show you, when you commit to something, you hire the right guy, and you build facilities, things can happen quickly. And Coach, it's great to see you again, and what a job you and your staff have done to turn this program around, because we've been talking about it with Dr. Looney and really the other coaches on campus. It's so difficult to go through a Division I transition when you're moving up from Division II, and especially with how good college baseball is in this state, it's hard to get traction, but what a job you guys did a year ago.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, and we're obviously excited about kind of some of the progress we made, and I think we just had our first team meeting yesterday with the group. I think one of the neat things for us is we have made progress the last 5 years, but we don't feel like we've hit any ceiling. So it's not like we've maxed out and we've achieved like the crowning thing. So I think the fun part for us is we get to keep going and hopefully keep building this thing up.
And Dr. Looney told us a cool story, because you guys were in the semifinals and won that to get to the championship game of the A-Sun tournament. And he talked about how a few years ago you guys were playing the same Florida Gulf Coast team, just got shellacked because you're trying to build this program back up, and yet you show the progress by having to win a game at 3 a.m. the night before, the morning, I guess that same morning, and then coming back and playing them and beating them to get to the championship game of the conference tournament. That had to be kind of surreal.
It was, and that was one of the reflection points. And going back to that meeting yesterday, I went over all that with our team, because some of those guys did not even see that Gulf Coast series. It was 4 years ago now. But that weekend, we got outscored 56-14 in 3 games. So if you're running the math on that, it was like 28-7, 14-7, and 14-3. And I remember sitting in the dugout and just, you have that reflection point, like we have a long way to go. And we didn't see that Gulf Coast team, it was like 1,100 days later, is the next time we saw those guys, and it's to beat them on basically 3 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? And it's not that our crowning achievement is we beat Gulf Coast. Like, that's never it's never a start of the season goal, but just when you get to the end of it and look at everything, there was some significance to winning that game and getting to the championship.
A lot of people are going to just look at the wins and losses and say this team's improved. You guys have, but outside the wins and losses, where has this team grown the most?
That's a good question. I think there's, from a belief standpoint, and usually that goes hand in hand. I think from a depth standpoint, where it's there was a stage where we're leaning on a couple guys or a few guys. Now I think the depth of our team is a strength. And I just think the overall commitment, the fact that we had 6 all-conference guys last year, 2 guys moved on for graduation, but the other 4 all-conference guys, I'd say 2 moved on with graduation. 1, if we get that 50, or we might get one of those guys back, so we'll see how that plays out.
We didn't even get to
well, I mean, look, we didn't ask Brent Dearmon that, but he's got 60 new players. I didn't know if I wanted and look, we did get some inside information that they have 2 spots, but that's kind of, how difficult, though, is that when, now you're not playing till the spring, so it's a little easier.
We do. We have more time, but it's and we have space, and part of the reason why he's another Rocket City Award winner, so we would definitely like to have that guy back. So
we know who that is.
We know who that is.
If we can get another Rocket City guy back, we'll take that in a heartbeat.
You take that hitter back.
Exactly. But it's just from a overall depth, and I think the confidence of the program's high, and we want to keep it high, but just making sure that we don't get into the something's owed to us or we've arrived.
Right.
We want to keep our edge and make sure we keep pushing this thing forward.
Well, and you do look at the roster, and we've talked to a lot of coaches about this. Recruiting in the backyard's important, keeping it on the high school level. But baseball has always been a sport where you can use the JUCO route very well. With NIL, a lot of these Power Fours are going to programs like UNA and getting guys to move up. But still, the JUCO spot for baseball is still very valuable.
It is, for sure. And that's our roster construction. We have, it's pretty close to being balanced of true high school guys that came in as graduating high school guys, junior college guys, and then 4-year transfers. So we have double digits of all those categories. So and the JUCO baseball around here, we value it. Really good players.
There's some good programs.
It is. And I think one of the strengths for us, we have been able to recruit nationally. So if you look at our roster, depending on the year, we'll have guys from 13 to 15 states from all over the country. And I think it's one of our strengths here is when guys get to Florence, Alabama, it feels like home for them. That has been a strength for us for sure.
Well, and one thing, too, with the junior college athlete, I've talked to other coaches. Earlier this week, we were at Alabama A&M, and we were talking to them about their junior college recruiting because with the portal activity, everybody's looking at the portal, but a lot of the JUCOs are getting overlooked, and you can go and get some really good players because, especially when you're talking about Power 4 leagues and programs, they look to the portal first. And so if you're aggressive and you have a good culture and you evaluate well, the junior college realm can be very, very attractive, and you can get some guys, maybe even potentially 3 or 4 years ago, that would have been valued more by the Power 4 that you can get now on your level.
100%. And as you mentioned the portal, everyone's clicking refresh at the same time. So you have eyes from literally every school. It's just who's in the portal every day. So the market value for those guys, nobody's hidden. Yeah. Like in that portal, everyone, guys are getting top whatever offers, and there's times that I feel like it has disrupted our sport where there's not mutual fits because you have basically people are panicking in certain months, and I just feel like, again, we'd like to get everybody we recruit, but we also know we're going to get no's along the way. But sometimes guys are leveling up, and it just, for me, when I see it play out, it just doesn't feel like the mutual fit.
Well, and I wanted to kind of piggyback off that. How is you and your staff, how are y'all reacting now to the 5-for-5 rule where I'm having to reprogram myself because on our show now I don't even I'm trying not to even refer to freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I'm just first, second, third.
I'm sure it's hard for coaches too.
Yeah, it's almost worth not even talking about what year they are at all at this point. Like just they're on the team and they're playing. And maybe if they're a first year guy, but other than that, it just, you have no idea how long they're going to stay. And like all the stuff that's happened since basically COVID, where the roster thing has been, I don't know if disrupted is the right word, but rules are changing on the fly. So I think the biggest thing for us is we have a plan for the current layout, but we're also flexible and we're not assuming anything.
Well, and the thing though is, and this is what I have to get used to myself, is there's really no red shirting anymore. So does it?
There is none, period.
Yeah. So does it change the way you develop players, Coach? Do you want to make sure you get them some time? Because sometimes when you're red shirting, they just practice. How does your development process, or does it change at all?
It should change, yeah. Because there's been guys we've had here that we get into maybe week 4 of the season and might be a freshman pitcher that hasn't thrown yet, and sometimes we'll have that conversation like, instead of you throwing 6, 7, 8 innings this year,
right?
So it just, I guess the one good part is you have the green light. If you want to pinch run somebody, you want to get somebody a pinch hit at bat, you're not worried about burning that year.
The year.
Exactly. So from that standpoint, it's, I guess, a few less decisions to make during the season. Yeah.
What's it like, though, for I mean, the uncertainty, though, for you as a coach, regardless if it's Power 4, regardless of where you're at, UNA, it has to be hard, though, because you know what you have going into this year, but you don't know what you can have. We talk about guys being, we don't even refer to them as freshmen, sophomores anymore. You don't know what you're going to have this year to next year.
But at least you only have one portal window.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be hard because, like, you're just coaching for this year, it just seems like.
That's part of it. And I would say it's the sport administrator when I got here was Mr. Todd Ardeman, and he is still here helping out. So Todd's still involved with the department. He said something to me last year. We've had some coaching changes mid-year where our pitching coach got a job with the New York Mets. We had another coach take a job right before the season started. And I almost felt like I was on defense trying to fill those spots. But we basically went into a slightly more aggressive hiring thing in January. Sometimes it's like, let's just try to get something to get us through the season.
Yeah.
But we basically opened that thing up, and we elevated Nick Patton to our associate head coach. We freed up the recruiting coordinator position. And normally you're doing that search in the summer, but we did it a week before practice started. And part of the thinking was, he had a comment to me, well, really, you're just, each year is its own separate thing at this point. And for me, I was like, I thought we had a talented group, and I wanted to make sure we had the right coaches in line. And instead of just trying to piece it together, we basically did a formal search, going right into the start of the season, which, again, is not traditional. It's really not. And I think coming back to the player side, for us, we are going to try to give our guys a great student-athlete experience. We recognize when the portal window opens, they have the flexibility to go in. We understand that. Some years might hurt us more than others, but all we can do is give them a great experience, and hopefully those guys want to come back. This year we were fortunate. All those key contributors, they're all back. Every single one of them is back. And again, I recognize we're not immune to it. Previous years we've lost guys, and it's going to be part of the ride. But I think all we can do is create a good experience, and hopefully we can retain those guys.
And obviously the success you had, the breakthrough last year, probably played a part in a lot of these guys coming back. And then how is it helping recruiting the facilities
it's
now?
It's critical. And those two things, I think that's the other thing. I feel like we have created what for any of us would be next, if that makes sense. So it's like essentially we have a brand new stadium, we're playing better baseball, we're playing in more important games. So I almost feel like where we are now to 3 years ago, it's almost like we've created a different program when you look at the facility, the talent pool, and just the importance of the games we're playing. So coming back to your point, I think it helped a lot where guys, they're itching to get back into that postseason setting and do the next thing.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned next.
Yeah.
What's the next for this team? Obviously, you want to win and get to a baseball regional, get to a postseason regional. But what has to happen between where this team finished last year to getting to that? How close are you?
Sure. I mean, I literally think we're right there, but I also understand how our sport works. And if you just think like, we're just going to run it back and do it, and I think joining the new league, UAC's going to have a lot of challenges. You have Arkansas Little Rock, who was just in a super regional. Tarleton State was in a regional. ACU and Texas Arlington have very talented players, so it's a lot of new. And you know what I mean? So it's just, we've done some research on what those teams will look like, but we understand, like, this is no knock on the old days Sun. I don't think things are going to get easier. Like, I think things will probably get more challenging in this UAC setup. So it's just, that's one of the challenges we're excited about. And I would say top 2 teams in our league this year coming up get a chance to host like a 4-team pod for the round 1 of the playoffs.
Okay.
And it just, if we had a chance to do that, one, I think it's a huge home field advantage to host. So if you're in the top 2, you bring the 4 teams to you. And then if you win that little bracket, the next weekend you play a best of 3. It's almost like a regional, super regional format. So that's one of the, if we could do that, again, from a goal standpoint, it's just, I want to win the championship, but if we can finish in those top two, and then postseason baseball, there's a level of randomness to it, but it's, we're shooting to hopefully host that one of those opening weekend rounds.
Well, and Coach, talk about your schedule coming up, because the college baseball in this state is really good. There's a lot of really good programs on your level. There's SEC programs. You've had success against both, but how is the schedule shaping up?
It is going to be very challenging. Until I get those signed contracts, I can't put anything on air. Don't get me in trouble here. So,
well, yeah, because they still haven't had fall baseball.
Let me check if Dr. Lyde is looking and see what's going on here. I will say is there was a recent stretch where our schedule went from good. This summer we were finishing scheduling, and it went from a good schedule to a next level of schedule where all of a sudden we're going to host an Omaha team here this year. We're going to bang heads with some really good teams midweek and on the weekends, and it's the same. The SEC, and we have not played I don't know when the last time we played a Big 12 opponent, but that's in the works this year with the new geographical footprint. So there'll be some different challenges coming up.
Well, and how important, though, is it to try to keep some of these in-state midweek games for you? I mean, Alabama, the Auburns.
It's those, and then obviously the mid-major, what I call them mid-major, when you're playing, if you're playing Troy.
Or even Jack State.
Jack State, exactly, last year. It doesn't feel mid-major when you're playing those guys. No. It's real, it's high-level baseball. And I think that's the unique thing for us. You really can't schedule easy here. You can't just stack wins with your midweek stuff, because if you're going to play UAB, Samford, Jack State, Troy, or then the SEC teams, all those teams present challenges. And as a state, I don't know exactly where we fall, but I think the state of Alabama is really close to being number one in just overall winning percentage last year, where we couldn't beat some of those in-state teams last year. But even us, we won 30-plus games, and we really struggled with the in-state teams. And I think, even for us, I think that's one of the next challenges is winning some of those games. And again, our goals aren't necessarily Tuesday or Wednesday wins, but I do think it's important to keep pushing this thing forward to navigate some of those games better.
Yeah, and then the cool part is that I know you guys in the past have played in Huntsville at Toyota Field. That's a great venue. We love hosting UNA. We know the football program in about a week is going to be at Wicks Family Field. What's it been like traveling around the state and then getting the chance to play in a facility like that?
It's incredible, and just how accommodating those guys have been since we've been here. So there's been, even going back to, I think it was 2024, we had some heavy rains coming. We knew our field did not drain well at the time. Yeah. And we called over to those guys on a Monday, and they got us in there for a weekend series against Kennesaw State. There's not many AA stadiums that I feel like would accommodate you to that level, but it's literally a phone call away. But those guys have been great, and they take care of you when you get over there. And it's sometimes you get in those environments, and they tell you, don't step here on the grass. Every door is locked, but they'll give you access to the locker room, and they're very welcoming when you get over there.
Well, and I know you mentioned earlier, we talked about the rosters. We've talked a lot of this, and you said, well, maybe a Rocket City Award winner could come back. And obviously we're talking about Nash Rippon. What has to happen to make that happen? I mean, how much do you say, and obviously it's the 5 for 5, it's all this new court stuff. I mean, how much do you have to pay attention to that? How much do you risk putting him? I mean, what do you have to do to get him out there?
For us, we are obviously paying attention to it, but and we're trying to get as much information as possible, but I have come to learn nobody has any inside track on what's going to happen. They really don't. So the more I kind of go in there to try to figure out, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
It is a lot of uncertainty. And I think as you see it play out, where this Ohio court makes this ruling, but on that same day or the next day, a new group in California gets the green light. So I think you're just going to have this back and forth. I would say, we are braced. We are positioned to bring Nash back. So if things go through, we would love to have him back. And I think we would see Nash back with us. But it's, there's still some things that have to happen.
Uncertain.
Here. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's really cool that he's staying, though. Because, look, man,
I'm sure he could have gotten offers to go somewhere else.
$20-$30. Yeah, something like that. He's good. We doubled that here. So
he gets an extra lunch here.
But it shows that he loves to play, to be here.
Yes.
And he's a local kid. He went to Decatur Heritage, and we enjoyed honoring him and you, Coach, and we appreciated the large UNA contingent that that came up to the Rocket City, and we continue to build a athletics relationship all the way across the board with UNA, which is exciting for us.
It is, and we appreciate it. We love the support, and I think you guys see it, and I know you guys have been around it, and you guys know the history better than I do. But I truly feel like this university, this athletic department is only going one direction, where things are rising.
Yeah.
And as this area grows, and it sounds like from a business standpoint, only more people are going to move to this area in the near future based off what's going on in Huntsville and even in our back of the woods. So it sounds like this whole area is going to grow, and we just view it as a chance for more UNA fans. There's a chance for new people to be UNA fans.
We talked about what it meant for the football team to play here at Bank Independence Stadium, what it's going to be like for them to run out there for the first time. What was it like for you guys to go to Mike Lane Field and play? I know it wasn't all 100%. But the day you got to actually take infield practice, the day you finally got to play a game, and then underneath the lights, it was all stages.
It was an incredible, especially when we were practicing at basically 9 different sites in the Shoals area. So we were practicing all over this area. So even like you said, that first practice or playing catch out there was a big deal. But to get out there for a game, we were on the road for the first 34 games that year. So just being on campus, and even with all the fans, we're up above the monster, and they're all. But even that was kind of cool, where you got a food truck up in the church parking lot, and you have 600-700 people up in the church parking lot watching from there. But having a chance to open the stadium, it's a real game day environment. It really is, and it's. We had weekends. We drew over three games. We brought in close to 3,000 people. We had a weekend with Central Arkansas where I was like, wow, we had a lot of people there. I'm kind of looking at the attendance numbers and even comparing it. There were ACC weekends that we outdrew the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Wake Forest went to Pitt, and I'm sure the weather might have played a factor in it, but just the idea of Wake Forest going to Pitt and UNA and Central Arkansas brought in more fans on that weekend. And I think, again, it speaks to a really good environment.
Wow. And as we're winding it up with you, I know you said you just met with your team yesterday. You obviously have a lot of returnees, but you also added some new pieces, and you haven't had a chance to see them work yet. But what excites you most about this squad going into this season?
I think it's both of those. Some known commodities coming back, returning guys that have done it and performed, and then some new pieces. When we're recruiting, we're targeting things that we think we need. So I think it's blending those two together. In the last couple of years for us, it's just been some really senior-heavy classes, and sometimes on the recruiting side with transfer stuff, we'll get a guy for 1 year. Like Dylan Coleman last year, we got 1 year from him. He fell in that Pavia case. He got done with his Division II eligibility, came over from Delta State, and he had 15 home runs. He was basically chasing Nash the whole year. But just that idea of bringing in a senior 1 year guy, but he's in and he's out, and then we got to try to fill. Not that we're trying to get the next exact him.
Right.
But we have some other guys, same deal. They'll come in with 1 year of opportunity. And I think even for us, too, it's guys that have been here. He was here for 9 months on campus, basically, but he made such an impact on the field and just his personality. It's just, for me, it felt like he was with us for 4 years. It really did. And I know it might be coach speak a little, but it's that personality, it really was. He was just an easy guy to root for, and it was just when the lights came on, that guy was ready to go. And it's just one example of one of the positives of the portal, I would say, of just that's just having a chance to have that relationship because he had the flexibility to move on.
Not only is he a good baseball coach, but we've learned this morning he is an excellent youth soccer coach.
Yeah, there we go. And then,
so wife Kelly dialed in. She's the head coach. I'll let her take the career record.
Well, and hey,
what is the career record?
Oh, it's not good. So I'm convinced that Florence Parks and Rec, they like to challenge my wife Kelly to make, because they know that she can bring the best out of a group. The winning percentage is not great. I don't know exactly where we're at, and it's not about the wins and losses. At that level, it's just not about it. But
that's awesome.
Well, we enjoy having fun.
It's about having fun.
It's about having and who brings the best snacks.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's a big part of it. And who has the craziest softball chant that doesn't quite make sense under what's going on at the top.
Well, and we also hope that you take a picture of your Rocket City Award and send it to Steve Beezer. Because you won that thing, and you guys were awesome, man.
It was well deserved.
I appreciate it.
It was well deserved.
There's a timing piece of it that helped, and Again, recognizing our program and
yes,
us taking a step.
And we actually thought it was one of the highlights of the show because you told it like it was.
Exactly.
But your program deserved it. I mean, you guys were one win away and had such a historical season, and we hope it's another great year on the diamond for UNA baseball.
Yeah, we're excited to crank this thing up. And this time of year, I feel like it's always fun for teams.
Do you do fall ball schedules?
We do.
So
that was one night I missed a chance to say it. October 2nd, we are going to be at Toyota Field. We're going to play Middle Tennessee State over there.
Sweet. There we go.
So we got a Friday night game over there, and then we'll have October 10th and October 31st here. October 31st, we'll probably rope in some kind of Halloween thing here during the day and give the guys,
so sweet. They're headed back to Toyota Field.
October 2nd?
October 2nd against
the
Raiders.
Well, Coach, thanks for spending some time with us. Great conversation.
Taking the time.
Yeah, great conversation there. And Drew, we're not done yet. We've got about a minute, and then we are going to bring in we get a first-time guest. Yeah. We get the women's basketball coach.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, and I'll talk ball with you. Give her credit. Her first pitch, she had a good first pitch. And
Did she?
I thought it was fine, and she was hard on herself. Here she is. Don't let her be harder. I thought it was a good one. She went out there with intent. She cut it loose.
Did she go high and tight, or did she
It
go?
might have been bottom of the zone, but I thought it was a good first pitch.
There you go.
There we go.
Nimz,
all right. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. This has been fun so far. This has been fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, and coming up then we will have our women's head basketball coach. And then don't forget, coming up at 9:30, Coach Tony Pujol will join us on the men's side. So the whole third hour of the show is going to be all basketball. We're going to talk women's basketball, and then we're going to talk men's basketball here. This is our Tailgate Tour presented by Talent Heating and Air. Don't forget, if you're wondering why, don't worry, folks. Starting tomorrow, we're going to get you ready for the high school football season as Randolph will play tomorrow night. And then coming up on Friday, we'll continue to get you ready for more of the high school football season. And then don't forget, on Saturday night at 7 o'clock, so we're going to have live high school football over the airways of 97.7 ESPN Zone tomorrow. We'll have high school football for you on Friday, and we'll have live high school football for you on Saturday with Columbia and Greensboro. So we're getting our Tailgate Tour finished up today. We'll talk high school football Thursday and Friday, but we'll talk UNA women's basketball coming up next.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Fall Saturdays in the South mean football. And when football season rolls, patio and grill season rolls right with it. Turn your patio into your favorite place to watch the game. From premium grills like Big Green Egg, Yoder, Blaze, and Napoleon to outdoor furniture built for Saturdays. Brooks & Collier has everything you need to make your patio the best seat in the house. Brooks & Collier, 80 years, 4 generations, the Valley's best in outdoor living. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Hyundai Decatur, located on the Beltline.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
It's Talkin' Ball's Tailgate Tour, presented by Talent Heating and Air, serving Huntsville and the surrounding areas. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Here we go. Welcome back in Hour 3. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond, welcome in. And our tailgate tour presented by Talent Heating and Air continues this morning. We are on the campus of UNA, North Alabama, home of the Lions, and we have talked everything so far. We have talked football, we've talked baseball, we've talked history, we've talked everything. And for this next hour, we get to talk basketball. They are actually practicing. I've not seen who's practicing, but I know they are practicing or working out, I should say, on the floor right now. I don't know if it's men's. It's the men's team shooting some hoops.
Done this the last couple of years while we've been here. They have workouts before, and he's going to be the last guest of the show. But our first guest is just joined the UNA family, and she's come over from Northwestern State University in Louisiana, and it's Anna Nimz, and she is the new women's head basketball coach, the 10th in the history of this program.
Who we found out can throw the baseball. She can spin the ball.
She can spin it a little bit, but she can also bounce it and shoot it, and she's got 11 new players. Is it 11, Coach? How many is it now that you've had?
We're sitting at 15, so retain 3.
Retain 3, so 12. She's
12.
Brought in 12 new student athletes, and that's just the world we live in, Coach, and welcome to the show. And
thank you.
I know when you in this portal era, that's kind of what happens when you take over a job. Actually, I don't think it's pretty good to retain 3. Because we've been talking about this the entire morning. Is so many new student athletes, especially football's got 60, but you've got 12, and I know you're excited though to get started. And how has your summer been so far?
It was a fantastic summer. You know, we were able to really hit the ground running. I was very impressed with the girls, how quickly they picked up to some of the offensive philosophies and standard of the program. I'm not sure I've been around a more detail-oriented team, and so it's really been smooth sailing. We're a lot further ahead, than where maybe I projected us to be. But you want to talk about just court leadership and accountability to one another. Every time we huddle out, I've never had a team that, no, come on, and then they huddle out. And they hold each other accountable right there and then and there. And so it's been a good summer. We've been able to, like I said, get a little further than maybe what I thought. But they've been a lot of fun to be around, you know.
What attracted you to make the move from Northwestern State to here?
You know, there's a lot of different factors that go into it. As a coach, you're always watching different careers and different universities. Dr. Looney is bar none one of the best athletic directors. He just came down with, proving that to the nation as literally becoming one of the best athletic directors. But I've known him for quite some time, although from a distance. Kind of watched his degree or his trajectory and his leadership style. I think what he brings and Dr. Kitts brings, and that seeing eye to eye, and they have a vision for this university, and you have seen it grow year after year after year. And just as a coach, you watch other teams, you watch other, be it men's, women's, what have you. You're watching what's going on.
Right.
And it's funny because I really watched quite a bit of men's basketball 2 years back. When they made that championship run. So it was, you were seeing the gym, you were seeing this atmosphere, you were seeing what Florence brought, so then you kind of look into it. Well, last year I happened to get home from my game. I tuned into the quadruple overtime and just the environment, right? And so there's also just this natural thing. It's weird that I had a vested interest in UNA before it actually ever presented itself. And so I think kind of a lot of things aligned. But when you look at the community, aside from just the trajectory of the university, you look at the community, it's somewhere I want to raise my family. It's safe, it's community, it's outdoorsy, great food. Probably should stop that.
We're all about.
No, Scott's all about food. We're all about food on this show.
I should be all about working out then if I want to be all about food.
We're all about the food on this show. Little places to eat, places to go and see. That is us to a T.
Well, I mean, it's someone asked me one time, they said, what sold you? And I said, it's not a sell job. How did you sign that many kids? How'd you sell them? Well, that's not a sell job. As long as you can get them here, there's nothing to sell. It sells itself.
Well, for our listeners, talk about the 3 young ladies you retained, and how did you connect with them and convince them of your vision and what your expectations, and get them to stay here in this time of so much transient transition in collegiate athletics?
I think the biggest thing, whether it's retaining kids or recruiting kids, is going to be honesty and transparency. Yeah. And the ones that like what I have to say, then will be able to play for me, and I'll want to coach them. I think you have to be really transparent. You have to be, this is it. Here's what it's going to look like on good days, the bad days, the hard days, but here's what you get in return. And I think they've seen that. I think they've seen that tough love approach. I think they see the standard, the expectations, but they also see a very human side of the love, the camaraderie, and my genuine desire to see them have success. I tell every parent and every kid, I coach the way I was raised, right? And so that's going to be high standards, high accountability. Some days you may really not like me, but you'll always know somewhere in the back of your mind how much I love you, right? Just like a parent would. So when we're holding a standard, it's not that I'm mad, although my voice may say different. It's just, I fall below anything, below your God-given abilities. Mm-hmm. Let's hit the standard, meet the standard, and then raise the bar. And it's not because you can't make me happy. It's just, why put a cap on yourself? The world tries to do it to us left and right. And so it's finding a way to blow the lid off things. And some players really want to be about that. And I love those. And then some players don't. And that's okay. Not everybody's meant to play for me.
How did you try to fill the roster then? So we mentioned the 3 that were here. And you managed to keep them. And you brought in 12 new ones. Where do you have to go to find them? How far did you have to go? I mean, how much of a drinking from a fire hose situation was it to fill that roster?
I think the best thing, and I kind of had shared this before the show with you, is just when you have the consistency in your staff, it was what you would think, just complete chaos. But we just put our head down and went to work. We were living in a rental house. We went to Home Depot and bought whiteboards and had them cut them in half. And it just is what it is. Yeah. You pull out your white markers or your markers on the whiteboard. As my daughter's running around the house like crazy and probably erasing kids' names unbeknownst to us. But when you have the consistency in your staff, it wasn't as bad as what it could have been. Yeah. I wasn't teaching them anything. They knew the standard. They knew the characteristics of what our program is. They knew what we needed positionally. And where did we get them? We got them from all over. We brought in a couple high school. We brought in a couple JUCO. We brought in a couple portal kids, And I think that one of our strengths as a staff is 3 of us have been junior college head coaches. Yes. So in a world where they're only 1-year kids. I've been used to 1-year kids since I started coaching, I think, in 2009. Yeah. I always got kids right where I wanted them and then gave them to somebody else to have success. And so although it stinks, it just is what it is, and you got to be able to pivot. Every kid left their institution for a reason, and you have to learn how to embrace it. Do I love it all the time? No. One of my kids is at Vanderbilt now suiting up for Shea Ralph. So, but how cool. Yeah. Right? And so it's finding a way to embrace it. It doesn't mean you have to like it every day, but embrace it, be ready to pivot, and just the more you can use it to your advantage.
it's success for the kids. I mean, the kids have earned it. I mean, the ones that have gone on and the bigger schools get them, it's great to see them be rewarded for the hard work. But at the same time, too, you lose someone that you've developed.
Yeah.
And so that spot's gone. And so it's like it's a love-hate type of thing.
And, when you have a kid make a jump from the Southland to the SEC, that's just part of it.
Yep.
That's so cool. Now, when you lose it laterally, that's not cool at all. But at the end of the day, and as much as I tell myself this, sometimes I really have to tell myself, if they don't want to be here, then I'll never get out of them what we could have, right? And so I'm not happy, they're not happy, and at the end of the day, they are kids, and that's really hard to keep in check sometimes, but they're kids that have yet to grow up, and no matter how, Coach, I'm grown. Who pays your phone bill? My mom. And I'm like, you're not grown. That is a simple question.
Yes.
Although my phone still populates as my mom's number, I promise I am paying my own cell phone bill. I'm not sure how that's happened. I've moved 4 states since high school or whenever they stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't even have one in high school. That's kidding. I guess college. I'm old.
My first one
I
was
just
college.
dated
I had the
myself.
bag phone. We were talking about that the other day. I had a bag phone.
You just aged yourself.
I had a bag phone. That was the first one in my car.
It was a flip phone. It was just in my car, and you really could. It only worked at certain places, on the interstate. If you got off the interstate, it didn't work.
It didn't work. I remember my uncle had one. I was so cool. Sat in the Suburban up on the big hump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have one of those.
Well, the cell phone plans back then were
25 cents. Kids would.
It was like you got 30 minutes. It was like you had a monthly plan of like 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and that was it.
Unless you were after 7.
And then it was after 7. But then it was like if you go over the minutes, then it was like 25 cents a minute after that.
It was 25 cents a text. I'm
it
like,
was-
don't text me. Stop
No,
it.
yeah. Look, hey, I'm gonna.
So off topic right now.
No.
But that's what we do.
No, but this is funny. No, because it's all connected though. Because when I was with the Huntsville flight in the early 2000s, that was one of my first cell phones, and that's when texting came along. They're like, please don't text anybody because it's going to cost you $6,000. At least that's the way they made it sound.
And they used to print those things out. You'd get my mom was like, why were you talking to somebody at 2:30 in the morning? I'm like, I wasn't. I'm like,
it was a detailed
right there.
phone conversation.
Why is it so? I mean, who has that kind of paper?
Well, now, I mean, can you imagine trying to recruit
without
back?
it?
Yeah,
No,
can you try
I
to
can't
recruit
imagine talking to my team without, hey, change of practice.
Yeah.
So in college, when I played, we had a rule, and it was kind of a self-imposed, take care of your teammate type rule. But when you woke up, you called me, I called him, he called somebody, because you were making sure that everybody was going to be at 5:30 a.m. practice.
Yeah.
But that's what you did.
Now it's a text or what is it, group me or
It's everything. And I'm not cool enough to use a lot of them. I'm just not.
I'm learning them all.
Well, Coach Brown ruins everybody's messages because he's an Android, and all the girls get mad because the messages turn green and you can't send pictures. So,
my mother, her Android lasted a month, and she threw it in a drawer.
And Coach Brown just digs it in. He digs his heels in on using this Android. So, anyways, WhatsApp. Especially with the amount of international kids.
Oh, yeah. I look on the roster,
Yeah.
and there's a couple on there. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce them. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce where they're from.
Could be a good, fun game.
That is, Stefanakova. I mean,
nice.
Is that close?
Yeah.
But just talk about that. The basketball, and we see it on a lot of levels. The game of basketball is an international flair now, especially on the college level. In the last, 2 or 3 years, it's exploded.
You look at the roster, and we sat back and looked at our roster. It wasn't, you don't look at where a kid's from. That's not what your target is.
Yeah.
When you're thinking of recruiting, yes, sometimes high school, JUCO, portal. Can they play? Do they fit? Or do they have high character? Are they good academically? Oh, dang it, we have 4 from Australia. Well, I guess then all 4 of those girls happen to fit those characteristics. Right. Is it different for us? Yes. I've always had probably 4 or 5 maybe international kids, not that being flip-flopped, but a lot of them, were in the portal. A couple, JUCO with Ella. She was, from junior college. We have a freshman from Australia. So it's not as if we intentionally necessarily did that. But we also are going to recruit the best players that we can recruit to UNA. And it just happened to be very international strong. It'll be fun for commentators to try to figure those out.
We've said it for so long that they didn't just learn how to play basketball on the international side or, overseas in the last couple of years. They've been playing it for a long time. It's just that pipeline of recruiting hasn't been there for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, again, with some of the junior college ties, I think we have a little bit of that network, especially ever since COVID, and they've kind of changed the guidelines as to what it takes and requiring the ACT, SAT. Usually that really got a lot of kids, which is why you saw them, maybe their path was actually through the junior college route, which was phenomenal. I'm a huge junior college advocate. I think a lot of people have misinterpretations about what it is and why it's so lucrative. But yeah, I think our players, whether they came from the portal, junior college, or freshmen, we do have a good amount of relationships, but really throughout this process, we gained a lot more, with different kids from the portal and different universities. Now everybody has an agent. So we've actually networked with building this team. The amount of networking was a lot different and a lot more intense. And in areas I don't like, I want to build a relationship with a kid, and I was very candid about that. And some said, well, you got to go through me. And that's not, I will probably have to pivot a little bit more than what I want on that front. But the agent and they're not playing for me. And you can't share my message. No one can share my message the way I can share my message and my truth and our process. Because I think when you really hear it, I think you can really get on board with it. If it's something that you want to get down with, you can hear it in my voice, you can trust it, and no one can relay that. But that's for when the headphones are off, not on.
We've heard a lot of those discussions.
Well, and we've one big topic on the show today, Coach Nimz, is, and you have yourself and two coaches on your staff that were head coaches on the JUCO level, is the junior college level. It can be very fruitful now, especially for the young ladies on Division I level and the mid-major level, because they're getting kind of overlooked because everybody being so portal crazy, and you can get a lot of good players in your program from the junior college level. You can get a lot of good student athletes in other sports as well. But how fruitful is that level still for your program, and how fruitful do you think it will be in the future?
We're always going to look towards junior college recruiting. It's where my foundation came from. I'm a huge advocate for it. I think junior kids, there's this idea that they're still striving. They're freshmen and sophomores and striving to become D1. And sometimes when you go D1, some kids think they've arrived, and so there's just this extra level of toughness. Typically, depending on the program you're recruiting from, those kids don't know about 8 hours from the NCAA. They know whatever it takes to get it done type hours. And, and so it's, they may have one set of practice gear. There's sometimes just a different level of appreciation when you sign junior college kids. They're usually pretty tough. And again, it changes based on where they're coming from. But that's part of recruiting kids, not just because they're good at basketball, but good at basketball and they came from that coach or that program and those standards. But to that exact same point, although you look at our roster, we'll always have portal kids. That's just it just is what it is, right? But with this fifth year, there's a lot of, especially in this 2-hour, 3-hour radius of what we've got, there's a lot of good high school kids, so it's really striking a balance for what you need. I think the toughest part, just to be transparent with that, the toughest part is, in theory, we have, a spot for 2027? One?
Wow.
Does that change once playing time starts becoming a thing? You pray not. This group is connected. The camaraderie is there, but it's when you look at it, it's crazy. So high school, I think, is also going to be dominant, is if you just open your eyes to it. And it's also based on what you need for your program at the time.
Because of the ever-changing landscape, because of the kids coming in and out, you got JUCO, you got the high school, you can recruit. You got 12 new players now. The expectations have changed, right, for coaches. Mm-hmm. For you coming in here, year one used to be they're going to give you 3 years, 4 years to come in, change the culture, build a program, get a couple recruiting classes in. What's it like now? Walking in with a transfer portal and a new roster. And, it's like you hit the ground running, but everybody else is in the same boat as well. The expectations change.
I think, I hope not. I still think to build something, and it's kind of a testament to what our staff was able to do at the last school or at Northwestern State. If you just do it for a quick fix, it'll always be a super high and a super low. If my intention and my staff's intentions are to be here and have 2 feet down, then it is going to take time. Just because we sign 12 new doesn't mean that culture just happens overnight.
Right.
You sign 12, you develop them. In theory, we have a handful of kids that came in as juniors and I should have for 2 years. Well, they just granted them a third. So I'm looking at that like, boy, I hope we did good. But on the flip side, it takes time to build that. You can talk about your standard and your culture, but they have to see it live. They have to see it from me. They have to see it from the top down. And so I think, your point of they give you a couple years to get it going. Do you as a coach want that? No, you do want to have instant. But to build anything good, I've never seen it done overnight. Minus even at 7 days even. So stretch that out.
Well, as you've had a chance to work with your team this summer and get a feel for it, and you said they're so well connected. What's an Anna Nimz UNA Lady Lions team going to look like in your mind?
It was fun. I give really long answers, so I apologize.
We love
the
them.
girls did a whole bunch of interviews. I mean, the SID group here is just phenomenal. They've had girls being interviewed, my entire staff being interviewed. That's good for their, just continued growth too. Unprompted by me, right? You always hear kids do interviews, and it's like, you can hear your words coming out of their mouth. I'm like, you sure can copy them, but you don't always do them. They each said, and I would agree wholeheartedly, we're going to be feisty. You're not going to outwork us. We're going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of energy on the court. But we talk about a lot, just toughness wins out. Talent's talent, but toughness wins. And I think that's the group you're going to see. I always tell them to be my kind of loud. My kind of loud, you can hear me in that gym with the music, with the band, and I'm not trying to change anybody, but on that court, we're going to have, some real fight to us, and just one of the things we talk to is 2 different things. We always talk about the process over a product, being about that process, and then how you do anything is how you do everything, and when you can find a group of kids that is true, how you do anything is how you do everything. That's what I want you to see, is just that consistency in every facet of what we do.
And we're excited about that. And I know you got here, so what has your imprint been on the schedule? Was it almost done? How did that come together?
My imprint's very light on the schedule. A lot of it was done. I would say there was some renegotiating on maybe some of our bigger games. But aside from that schedule was, for the most part, which is obviously a great thing when you don't want to start your scheduling. On the women's side, we try to be done with our schedules by at least I do, December, January. I know the men's groups work straight up until, the date. But, so I know that Coach Whitaker's staff did a great job of having that almost completely mapped out. You would look at our schedule and be like, wow, your first 3 games. I've been doing that for the last 6 years. So that's to me, I see it as that just is what it is. What a great way to rip off the Band-Aid, see where you're at.
I've not seen the non-conference schedule. I don't know if it's out yet. Can you allude to some of the bigger games that you'll have this year?
Coach Prachniak couldn't really tell us too much.
How about this? They're pretty close, and they're pretty big time.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm not very good at dodging, so I'm too direct to have questions like that when I can't answer. My mom, I'll say stuff, and I was like, you didn't need to say that. I'm like, but it was the truth.
But it's the truth.
She's like, sometimes, just sometimes.
You just got to tell the truth.
So I just get it. I should have taken my things off and walked out.
No, but the conference though, and we talked about making that, and we talked with Coach Dearmon about this, and on the baseball side as well, making that jump from the ASUN to the UAC basketball wise. What is that? I mean,
it's a gauntlet.
Is it a gauntlet?
It is. Just with the teams on our side, with the move over, you've got a handful of teams. One, they're incredibly well coached, but it's proof in the pudding what they've done year in and year out. Know a lot of the coaches, respect a lot of the coaches, and then anytime you add anybody from Texas, you're just adding a significant jump or disparity in money.
Abilene Christian, Tarleton State,
and UTA.
In UTA,
and so it's going to be day in and day out an absolute gauntlet. It's going to be. I think it's anyone's game, right? Because we all our everybody's rosters change for the most part a little bit. I hope for some of them they changed a lot a bit, But I think it's we're going to see where we stack up. I love our team. Truthfully, I told Coach A one day, I was like, I can't decide if I'm soft or if they just don't make me mad. And it's really because of how well they've done. And I multiple days, I'm like, am I kidding myself? Did we have that good of a day? And we have. And it's a testament to their character. Like, it's been really fun. I really tested them the last couple of weeks because I took the basketball away and we did a lot of defense. But even on really bad days or what we would deem one of our worst days, they still held each other accountable. And we had kids that showed leadership and came and talked afterwards. It's just, so I love our team. How are we going to stack up? You got to see where everybody's at, right? I know they're a very good group of girls. I know that we are long. I know that we are going to be able to stretch the court. I know that we can shoot the heck out of the ball. I know that our girls have done a significant amount of work on their own to get better, but time will tell.
Straight out of Hoosiers, taking the basketball away.
Well, that's what you got to do sometimes.
Yep.
It's fun. It's a fundamental game still.
I think it's fun. I don't know how much fun they had, but but I'm right there. I was so sore those last 2 weeks, running around, and that's something I've always told them. Like I'm passionate, and so when I'm passionately happy, I'm passionately happy. When I'm passionately mad, I'm passionately mad, and then naturally I'm just a very loud human being. But you get it right. I'm right there. Like, you'll never play for a more excited coach. Whether we're in a game, we're in practice, you're at weights, we're in conditioning. If I'm feeling really dumb, I'll jump in every now and again, and then my hammies will pull, and, I act cool for a minute, and then I die back on the backside. But it just is what it is. We're all in what we do.
This has been fun.
Yeah, a new
this
era
has been good.
of UNA women's basketball. Anna Nimz, October will be here before you know it. Practice will be started, and then they'll be on the floor. But we really appreciate you coming by on our UNA Media Day and talking some women's hoops, and we look forward to seeing your team this coming winter.
Me too.
All right. Well,
I appreciate you guys.
Let's get that break in. When we come back, Tony Pujol will join the show as well. We'll talk men's UNA basketball next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Chase for the playoffs continues for your first place Rocket City Trash Pandas, August 18th through the 23rd. Promotions include a bobblehead giveaway on the 20th, Huntsville Stars Night on the 21st, and a beer stein giveaway for Oktoberfest on the 22nd. Get your tickets now by visiting tptix.com. That's tptix.com. Let's rock it.
Mark your calendars for September 19th as All About Water invites you to Pond Tour 2026, a free self-guided walkthrough of real ponds and water features that they've built right here in the Huntsville area. Talk to them on site, ask questions, see the craftsmanship up close, no pressure, no appointment. Whether you're picturing a small backyard fountain or a full koi pond with waterfalls, this is your chance to see what's possible for free. RSVP at allaboutwaterllc.com or check out their Facebook page on the day of for participating addresses. Your backyard could be next.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188. Just remember, we're here to help, whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete. We're here to help.
Listen to the Lynn Leighton Automotive Friday Night Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Guntersville Ace Hardware, each Friday night on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. It's been a fantastic morning so far. That was a fantastic conversation there, women's basketball-wise. That was great. Now, though, they've been on the court since we've got here this morning. It seems like, and we rolled in around 6:15. But the men's basketball program, hard at work already.
Yeah, and we always enjoy catching up with Tony Pujol. He's been on our show many times, and it's always good to get FaceTime with him. And his guys have been going at it hard since early this morning, and that's usually the case, though. When we get here, they're usually in the middle of their off-season work before practice starts in October. But it's always good to catch up with Tony Pujol. Coach, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Glad to be here with you guys, and we're doing great. Had an unbelievable summer, and just excited that first day of school, and we get rocking and rolling here today.
First day of school. I mean, you guys have been. You just told us since June. I mean, boy, time flies, right? We go from June to August, just like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what helps time fly is too when you have a good group of guys, right? Yeah. You get excited to be around them every day, and man, it flew by. And we got a little pause. Had about 3 weeks that they got a chance to go home. For the month of August, and now they're back. And I'll be honest with you, the first day I came in the gym when they were rolling in, man, it was, again, just energetic. It was a boost of energy for me, right? When you're around good people, guys that want to work, guys that, have really done a great job of bonding, especially in today's world where a lot of new faces in a lot of programs, right? I think the quicker you can get guys together, and these guys have really immersed themselves in just doing that, and I'm very thankful for that.
Well, and that's a good segue, Coach. I mean, this is a transitional time, a lot of movement on roster-wise. How many guys do you have back? And we'll talk about the roster.
Yeah, we've got 3 players back, Cortez Graham, Braylon Patton. I mean, we had those 3 guys, and Mitchell Chaffee, our walk-on. All those 3 guys came back. So there's 12 new faces, right?
So 12.
So I got to commend our staff. They did a tremendous job of recruiting to our culture, our style of play, which is really important when you're putting a team together. And I could tell you this: we've got guys that are familiar with the league that are here. We've got guys that have played at the Division II level at a very high level. We had junior college transfers, and we had some high school kids. So,
nice mix.
Yeah, it's just a good balance. And like I said, right now I'm really impressed and very pleased with the way these guys competed during the summer.
How much of a grind was it last year, coming off that run to the conference championship game. But, I mean, a lot of it, though, I mean, you lose Jakari Lane to Texas A&M. You lose some valuable pieces. How much of a grind was it last year?
Yeah, I mean, like anything else, right? The one thing that I took from last year is that you take for granted. I didn't take it for granted, but sometimes you could take for granted having a guy like Jakari, right? So now I'm coaching a freshman, right? So now patience had to come into play when it came to my coaching style, which, to be honest with you, since Jakari was here, man, you just had to let that guy go, right? But it allowed me to do that. The injury bug got us. We had 13 different lineups in league play, which is that's never fun. But the one thing I could tell you, our guys competed. They competed. They were in every game. There wasn't a game where I could say, "My gosh, we got annihilated." They competed, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And then for our listeners, have you had any staff changes? Because I know that's another thing year to year in this climate of college basketball. There's a lot of movement, but talk about kind of your staff now.
Yeah, I mean, our movement. This year didn't just start with staff and players. It started with league, right? So now you're in the UAC. Right?
UAC, yep.
So now you're playing. You got these 3 Texas schools that are, a ton of resources, really good coaches, really good players. So it kind of adds a different dynamic. And then there's some familiarity, right? You got teams like Austin Peay, Central Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky, West Georgia. You've got teams that you're familiar with, but you got new faces. And now what you're seeing is you're going to see a lot more athleticism out there in this league, rather than, playing the Bellarmins of the world where, again, maybe they don't have athletes, but brother, you got to compete with those guys at a different level because those guys are so efficient offensively, right? The Lipscombs of the world, when Lenny Acuff was there, and just having to deal with all those type of teams. But right now, what you're going to see is a more athletic team. So what we did was we again recruited to our style of play into the league, and then at the same time we brought in some experience, right? So we brought in Drew Stutz, who was the head coach at Freed-Hardeman.
National championship.
Two national championships in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So probably should have three-peated. He lost a close one in the semifinals the year prior, but he's not only a great coach, but he's also from the area. He went to Mars Hill, attended the University of North Alabama. So it's somebody that our community is very familiar with. Yeah. We brought in Perrin Foote, came from Florida State. He's been around the block. He was at VMI. He's part of that. He's part of that Leonard Hamilton tree, right? And he was with Gates at Missouri. He was with Gates at Cleveland State. So it's all part of that Hamilton tree. He's joined us, and then obviously bringing back Will Susi, right? Ex-player, right. Somebody that understands the culture, understands what we're about, and just those 3 guys have been a tremendous addition for us.
When you look at that roster and you made those changes, you brought in some new guys, was there an area that you looked at and said, okay, hey, look, we're on the right track, but if we could get bigger in this area, or if we could get more talented in this area, this is where we got to go?
Yeah, I think what you're going to see with our team, and I don't even mind sharing it because obviously it's not going to, people aren't going to, they're going to figure it out pretty soon. At our level, especially in the world of NIL, one of the things I always heard about was that traditional big, right?
Yeah.
Not only are there very few of them, but they're really expensive.
Yes.
Right? So what we did was we wanted to get big all the way across the board. So we did that. So if you look at this roster up and down, you're going to see a lot of 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". That's what you're going to see.
Okay.
Right? And we're not playing with a traditional big now. We're playing with 5 guys that can put it on the floor, 5 guys that can shoot it, 5 guys that understand, the style of play. Like they get it, right? Guys that have to defend 94 feet, So that's kind of like the area we went to. And I think it's going to work. I think it's something that's sustainable for our level. So from
college basketball as a whole, look at Michigan. Look at on the bigger levels, teams that are winning now. You got 6'6" guards, 6'7" guards. Yep. They're interchangeable pieces.
Yeah. And you look at their bigs, and their bigs can stretch it, right? Even if they're maybe 6'10", 6'11", but they're guys that it's the NBA, European basketball. That's all. It's all kind of morphing into that, right? And I think, like I said, for us, especially from a resource standpoint, it fits what we're trying to do.
Well, and we're talking to Tony Pujol, head basketball coach of the UNA Lions. And we've talked to all the coaches throughout this today, and it's been a topic that they've all agreed with, because on this level, in the mid-major level, I think a resource for all the programs, and you obviously hit it as well, and you've already hinted, is junior college, because everybody's portal crazy, especially in the Power Four, and then everybody's after the top 100 high school athlete. But a lot of good junior college players are overlooked. But you can fill some holes and get some really good players if you have the right connections. And I know throughout your career and the guys you've coached with, and then being here, you have a lot of those connections.
Yeah, I mean, think about guys that have been in this program, right? Tay Fields, by the way, signed an E10 contract with the Sixers, so he'll be practicing with Philadelphia.
Love Tay, man.
Okay, so Tay, we passed on Tay when he was in high school. We went portal in junior college. Well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So if you look at our roster this year, there's a young man on our roster by the name of E.J. Smith. He went to Russellville and just came from Bevel State. Okay, and first game, I think he scores like 47 points, and now he was 5A Player of the Year in the state of Alabama.
Russellville.
From Russellville High.
Yep.
Yeah. So EJ is going to be somebody that I'm not going to make the same mistake I made with Tay. When you have a talented young man like that in your area, you got to at least go out there and evaluate it the right way, see if he fits, and by the way, he fits like gloves. So we're really excited for him.
We spent Monday at Alabama A&M, and so we got to talk, A&M basketball, SWAC basketball, and you guys are in a similar spot. I mean, it's you got to be you don't want to make mistakes, and you want to get the right guys in, but also you got to be wise with how you spend. I mean, it's the way now. You got to be wise with how you spend too. You go out and get a big guy; they're hard to find, right? I mean, especially on this level. I mean, but if you get a good one, it's going to cost you.
No, 100%. That's what I was saying earlier. They're truly expensive, and there's not a whole lot of them out there. So does it make sense for our level to go after that and put all your resources there? And maybe some people will do that, and that's fine. If it fits with their style of play, it should. For us, I think it works better for us, our style of play, the way we defend, the way we want to run our offense, we want more of a play of. We want versatile guys. We want guys that can play multiple positions, that can guard multiple positions. So we want to do that. We also offensively want to spread the floor, right? So if you think about it, like even like when Jakari Lane was here, he always had a traditional big, but here's a guy that can get in the lane at will. Imagine now the floor being wide open, right? Now, guys like that can truly have success, not only by scoring, but making the game easier for everybody around them because of spacing of the floor. It's one of the reasons why the NBA went the way they did, right? It's one of the reasons why European basketball has grown the way they've done, because they've gone to skill. They've gone to versatile players that can play out on the perimeter and space the floor.
Yeah, they really have. And as you've worked with your team this summer, and, of course, practice will start in October, you talked about them being versatile. You talked about being much bigger and longer along the just the entire roster. What do you think is the strength of your team going into practice?
Yeah, I think number one, we talked about the type of player you want, right? And again, you could look at our guys' stats from junior college and their accolades, and that's going to speak volumes for them as people, right? But at the end of the day, you got to get guys, in my opinion. I think the biggest competitive advantage you have is the connectivity within your team. If they're connected, right, you can have all the talent in the world. I've seen talented teams that have been really, really talented but just couldn't figure it out. And I think when you're connected, right, I think one of the strengths that this team has is that they're willing. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. Man, let's go win.
Yeah.
Right? And you could see it when they're out there competing against each other. We talk about that constantly. This is not us competing against us. This is us striving together, right? So we want to be ultra competitive against each other, but at the end of the day, the purpose is for us to iron sharpen iron,
right?
Okay, and then just keep moving forward.
We talk about EJ.
Yeah.
But is there somebody on this roster that you're also like, okay, by the time conference season comes around, by the time we get to conference play, this is a name that people are going to know, they're going to recognize?
100%. EJ Smith is going to be a guy that I think that'll impact our team. But then you've got guys like Dre Carter. I think you're gonna truly love seeing Trey Carter play. You want to talk about a versatile big, 6'9", weighs about 220, can shoot. I mean, shoots it at a high 30, low 40% clip from three. Can rebound the basketball. Caden Harris from Luma, out in California. Again, a 40% three-point shooter, 6'5", 215-pound guard, right? Just big guard. You got guys like Quan Lax, somebody that has a lot of familiarity, is very familiar with the league. But it's somebody, he's a bulldog, man. And not only that, but he played for Coach Stutz at Freed Hardman, won a national championship in 24. And then Mike Egvaru. Okay, so I know his name. It's hard to pronounce, but I'm going to tell you something. People are going to recognize that name because Mike, Canadian by birth, he played on the Canadian national team this past summer. You want to talk about a versatile guard? He's about 6'6", again about 215 pounds. Wow. Led Canisius in assists. I mean, look at his percentages from a scoring standpoint. These four guys are going to have tremendous impact on our team. But again, I'm going to keep reminding you, you're going to have guys that you're going to see. It's been our MO since day one.
Yeah,
we're going to have guys, multiple guys that are going to be double-figure scorers because our system is set up that way. If you remember any one of our teams, you're going to have 5 guys that are going to be in double figures, and then you're going to have about the top 8 that are going to score 8 points to about 15. So I mentioned those 4. There are other guys that you're gonna be able to see, but those 4 are going to really stand out from a leadership standpoint and also from a talent standpoint.
Well, and Coach, I believe, is this year 9 for you now?
Say that again.
Is this year 9 for you?
Unbelievable, huh?
It's been like, well, look, I'm getting old too. I got so much gray hair. I remember when you coached for Anthony Grant, you talked to us off the air about he just called you today, and you were an assistant for him, and when you coached Levi Randolph, and I remember you coming to Huntsville for our Huntsville City Classic, which is a huge event for us every year in recruiting. But how have you seen your program grow in the nearly 10 years here? And then this campus and athletic department, there's a lot of growth going on here.
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because for me, it's all about the leadership of our university, starting with President Kitts, right? Think about this, guys. We were in the GSC.
Right.
Okay. Unfortunately for the GSC this past year, they just lost their automatic qualifier for football, right? They don't have an AQ anymore. And that kind of tells you that if this move was not made, where would North Alabama, how does it affect North Alabama? So to have that type of courage to make that decision to move forward to the Division I ranks, knowing what we knew back then, right? That vision is important. And then adding on our athletic director, Dr. Josh Looney, what you're seeing out here, guys, is he's got his fingerprints all over it, right? The stadium, our sports complex off campus. He's told us that this is going to be the next thing in his agenda is just kind of putting together resources to just. I mean, I personally think she's beautiful, right? This stadium, I think, is
it's
perfect
come a long
for us.
ways. Yes.
But like you said, right, it's come a long way. And for me, just being a part of this team, right, starting again with the leadership of President Kitts and Dr. Looney, man, it's just a privilege every day to come into work, man. I'm just stoked because it's the right time to be here. It's the right time to be in Florence, Alabama.
Does the 5-for-5 stuff right now give you a headache?
How does that affect you at all? Does it affect you?
Yeah.
Personally, I just wish we can get to a solution, man. I think we're close, right?
Yeah.
To me, what we should have done probably is after the last COVID year, they should have started the 5-for-5 then.
Yeah.
Because all those guys
sooner.
all those guys had 5 years. So we should have had a little bit more foresight to pass that right after the COVID kids.
Makes sense.
Now that you pass it, now you had 2 classes, the 21 and 22 class that didn't get their 5 years. So rightfully so, they have grievance. And for me, I'm all about making sure that the young people that are in college athletics right now, the student athlete, man, I want them to get every advantage that they need to get because they do a whole lot. Like right now, our guys are going to class, right?
Right.
But they're going to work out, right? They're not the typical student. They're putting in a lot of time their academics and in their athletics, and they represent your university. So for me, giving them any advantage, I think that's warranted. From a leadership standpoint, I think we got to be better. I think our generation needs to be better in providing the type of rules and regulations that are going to help them. I'll give you a point. Mark Sears, who played at Muscle Shoals.
Yep. Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to put his business out there, but I've never, ever, in any business that I've ever, I was a business major, so any business that's successful, I've never heard of a business where when you climb the ladder of success, you make less money. And Mark Sears was a college athlete, and then now he's in the G League, and he's gonna be working his tail off to make it to the NBA. He should not be making less money in the G League than he did in college. And to be honest with you, his NIL deal was bigger in college than it was. So I use him as an example. Yeah. I'm sure there are multiple kids that have gone through that. So to me, I think that right there, that format shows you that this is off. Something's wrong here. So it's our job, our generation needs to correct that. These kids, all they're doing is saying, okay, I can transfer? Good. If I can transfer.
It's not their fault.
It isn't. It isn't.
They're walking into a situation and they're dealing with the situation.
That's exactly right. So to me, that's the way I view it, right? Like, we have to be better. And I think we're heading in that direction. I think hopefully in the next few months, everything will settle and then we'll have some sort of normalcy. I don't think we're ever going to get back to where we were 5-10 years ago.
Right.
But at least there'll be, I think the focal point needs to just be the transfer portal. If we can get that under control and do what's right for the young people, because again, if things don't go well, all right, I don't know if the answer is to just keep jumping around. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know if that's the answer. So let's do something that's going to benefit them, but also respects the game.
Well, and I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit. Okay. Now that we're having the 5-year window, when it's instead of freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, like I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th year. How does that affect you when you're developing a player? Now that if redshirting goes away, because sometimes you may sign a kid that I'm not quite sure he's going to be ready to play for me as a freshman, but once he redshirts, I think he can be able to hit the ground running. Does that change at all with how you approach it?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know if this is, but I'm not bringing in a freshman that can't help me.
Gotcha.
I'm letting you know that's the way we recruit.
Yeah.
It doesn't benefit our level to develop players because by the time you get them developed, they're going to probably move on. Mm-hmm. And listen, again, I'm okay with that. But I told our staff, if we're bringing in a freshman, he's got to be impactful from day one, because I don't think we should be I know our university. I don't want to be that university that's constantly building, trying to develop somebody so that he can go somewhere else. If and we've been fortunate now. Think about it. We had Jakari Lane here. Jakari could have left after year one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Freshman player of the year. The next year, his second year, first team all conference. Like, he could have left.
He could have been gone. Yeah.
Now he comes back for year 3. So we've been fortunate there. But there's been some guys that we haven't had that fortune with. Mervyn James, for example, who played for us back in the day, played here for a year. We get to the championship game in the ASUN final against Liberty, and then the next year he jumps, right? Which again, it's part of the deal, right? And I'm okay with that, but yeah, I'm not in that game right now. I want to make sure that we're bringing in guys that could be impactful from day one.
Well, we certainly think it's
going to be another. That's a tough road. I mean, it's a tough avenue. I mean, that's the downside. The good side is these kids are getting a chance to make a little money. They're getting a chance to get their worth. But the downside is there's got to be a downside,
right?
And that's the ultimate downside. It's not your fault. It's not.
That's right.
It's not a situation it's a situation that needs to be fixed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be another great year, I think, with UNA basketball. Coach, we know it's been a very busy morning for you, been going through workouts, but we really always appreciate the visits, and it's been great to talk some UNA Lions hoops today.
This
Well, I appreciate you
non-conference
guys.
schedule, did we
Yeah.
get to that? Is that going to be another tough one for you?
Oh, absolutely. Now, I don't think it's out yet. Is it out
No,
yet?
it's not out yet.
Well, yeah, remember they got to sign some contracts.
I keep asking about it. I know it's not out. I just know it's going to be tough.
That's why I was avoiding that.
Yeah, well,
listen,
you know what? We can say it's tough.
Well, I could say this to you without divulging a whole lot. We'll be playing 5 games, your typical bye games.
Yes.
The one thing that I am extremely happy about, okay, and it's the first time it's ever happened here, we get to play 8 games at home and 8 games on the road in non-conference. It's never happened before.
Wow.
So we got 8 and 8, and then we got conference, which is 8 and 8. So we'll play 16 home games in front of our fans, which, by the way, if you don't mind me plugging them.
No, go ahead.
Leading the league for the last 3 years in
That's
attendance. Okay, for men's basketball here at the university. So it's I can't tell you again the amount of gratitude that I have for being a part of this community.
Well, you've done a great job building this program, and we always appreciate the visits, Coach.
Yep. Thank you
same
for
here.
the conversation.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Well, we are just about done with the show, Drew. This has been a fantastic morning here on the campus of UNA. Coach Tony Pujol helped us in wrapping it up. We knew coming over here today would be a fantastic visit. We knew it would be a fun time, and it was. UNA, again, rolled out the purple carpet, not red. They rolled out the purple carpet for us here today, and it's been a fantastic, fantastic morning.
Yep, absolutely it has. And we're wrapping it up here at UNA, and it's been. We want to thank Talent Heating and Air for the sponsorship and on our tailgate tour. It's been another great one, and certainly been a lot of UNA conversation and a lot of excitement here. You can just kind of feel
there
it.
is. And Bank Independence Stadium, are you ready? We'll sneak over there after this.
Yeah.
After we say goodbye, we'll sneak over there and get a peek at it. And because, again, it is week 4. They will open it up. By the way, so UNA, again, coming up next Saturday, they will take on Sanford inside Wicks Family Field. And then it's 2 road games for UNA. They go to Arkansas, and then they go to, I think it's Southeast Louisiana or something. They're on the road there, and then they are back home against Alcorn. So it's the 4th game of the year, week 3 of the college football season for UNA. Will kick off Bank Independence Stadium. But it's been a fantastic tailgate tour here. We're back in studio tomorrow. If we can remember how to get there, we'll be there tomorrow. But anyway, thanks to UNA. Thanks to everybody for helping make this happen. We will see you tomorrow morning.
Yep. East Louisiana, and then that Alcorn State open.
3rd week. Bank Independence Stadium. See ya.